Ladies and gentlemen, people. Um, we're here streaming again. I worked up the motivation to try to do another live stream. So, we were going good for a while. We were almost daily for a while. I think this is the first time in a long time I've done over 2 days. But yeah, we're going to try to get back in the habit of streaming and getting some joy out of this. Yo, 5 from JPM, thank you so much. The reason I was playing Bad Bunny at the beginning is because he needs critical support right now. The woke right is trying to cancel him. Okay? These right-wing snowflakes are trying to cancel an American hero. At this point, he's what? He's Latin America's. I think is he the most popular right now? Like the most popular artist in Latin America? No, maybe not the most. At least in hip hop, I think he's the most popular in hip hop in Latin America. Bad Bunny is more suited for baseball. He's not Dominican, you fucking idiot. These people know nothing. Cover Empath Chan. Cover Erudite talking about the pixie drama in relation to cum guzzling Stevens' conversation with President Sunday about Queeman. No. No. You're a sick individual, and I'm not going to let you infect me with your sickness. Now, folks, before I turn on cam, I have to promise you my hair is not that long. It's just wet, so I'm gonna look like emo or some shit for a sec. It's like covering my eye. Hold on. Dude, I look like a fucking emo. Hold on. Okay. Okay. All right. I moved it a little bit so it's not covering my eye. So show my PCL. What is a PCL? What the fuck is a PCL? But I guess we've got a few things to cover. We've got to cover some plagiarism allegations relating to Toastify, and oh wait, I can cover Empath Chan. I will cover Empath Chan. I could do that briefly as a starter segment. You know what? Fuck it. So apparently, Destiny had a meeting with this Empath Chan individual. I don't know why I got linked the most low quality tweet possible. Let me see if I can find it on my Twitter. Oh, keyboard double typing again, as it always does. Someone's like, get a new this is a new keyboard. I only got it a year ago. It was doing this since I bought it. And I have it because I'm very like specific about keyboards. And I like this one. It's an inbox? Yeah, but it's the most low quality fucking version of her picture with Destiny. It doesn't really you can't really see his like essence, okay? It doesn't personify. Okay, I cannot scroll through this person's account. Um but Empath Chan has met up with our favorite streamer, Destiny. Hold on. Well, why is it not pulling up? Empath Chan has met up with our favorite streamer. We love him. He didn't do anything wrong. Dude, I was looking at his like I was looking at his like let's say you're like a normie. You see Destiny on like a political panel and you want to learn like who he is, right? Well, you would do what a lot of normies do and you would go to Wikipedia, a site I've always hold on, why is it dude, I love how stupid this is. You would go to a site like Wikipedia, right? Where it would give like a summary of everything for normies. So if you went to so you go to his Wikipedia and now you know there's some allegations against him, right? So after scrolling, so you do like this pre-Wikipedia summary, and for a lot of celebrities that have gotten into allegations about sexual improprieties, it's briefly elaborated on in the starting summary. Now, for him, it's not. If you go down, it's in this legal trouble section, and I want to read this to you. A federal lawsuit was filed in the Southern District of Florida alleging that Bunnell shared a sexual video of a fellow political streamer Pixie without her consent or knowledge, violating a federal revenge porn law and Florida's law against cybersexual harassment. Prior to the filing of the suit, Bunnell publicly commented that the intimate video had been shared with third parties due to a leak that happened without my knowledge, consent, or authorization. Now, isolated, that's technically true, but it's a lie by omission because it was purposefully shared by him with a third party prior to it being shared with even more third parties through a hack, right? After the suit was filed, Bunnell released a longer public statement addressing the allegations. So it provides his defense, and then it's left there. It doesn't explain that this it doesn't give additional content. Like he was accused by someone of something. He has a defense. He said, she said, we'll leave it at that. There's no additional context that would show you that this is a lie by omission. So if you're a normie that wants to figure out what's going on with the guy, this is what you have. I would not be surprised if like this was edited by like some fucking Wikipedia volunteer that's like a DGG or some shit. DGGers have I need to listen, dude. Every cult, by the way, this is such a cult tactic that they're doing, controlling like I mean, Scientology had its members like infiltrate various organizations to like censor embarrassing bits of info, and I mean, it is a very cult-like tactic. Congrats on getting a wiki page, Aiden. Good one. They're you people need to get versed in wiki editing. Get versed in it, okay? We need to control with a V, replace the O with a V, the narrative. I think you're stretching. It's an inference. I'm not stating conclusively that it is an inference based on how this article, we know that DGG is like does control the spread of information on Destiny's behalf. We know that they have their own wiki page. They edit wiki pages on that site, and there's not really, I think, high criterion for becoming an editor on Wikipedia. And they do what Destiny does, where they frame it in a way where all the facts are technically true, but crucial details are omitted that would lead somebody to a misleading conclusion, which in effect functions as an overt lie, but gives you plausible deniability by stating, oh, well, all the facts I gave you were technically true, right? And we know that this is incredibly favorable to him in comparison to how Wikipedia generally describes allegations of this nature on other people's pages. So it is an assumption or an inference that the person that did this possibly was a DGGer. Am I stating that conclusively? No. Anyways, he meets this empath Chan person, and I don't really care to talk about Destiny all that much, because it's just the most uninteresting subject to me at this point. Honestly, like, the biggest fault about Destiny's opposition was making this digestible. Like, the types that regularly cover him and shit. It's just like, I mean, ideally, if you want to know people what he's, if you want to tell people what he's actually like, you need to, like, appeal to normies. And it's like, to just people on the outside that are not as, like, autistically interested in this as you, the drama is not, like, super digestible. What happened to her neck? I guess she has a double chin or some shit. She's really weird. I've seen her before. She, like, has LARPed as, like, a half Chinese, half Jew, while, like, appealing to, like, Nazis and white supremacists. It's, like, bizarre. But she's here with Mr. Bennell, who is wired the fuck out on Vyvanse or some shit. But apparently, my assessment is she's just a chronic attention seeker. She doesn't necessarily align with, like, any given ideology or belief. She's just somebody that is addicted to garnering attention. And what led me to that belief is compilations I saw of some of her past behavior. One of the most disgusting things you can do is spit on somebody. It's gross, it's disgusting, it's pussy shit. Like, you might as well, like, I'd prefer you just punch me instead of, like, spit on me. It's, like, so childish and disgusting. But apparently, she's just, like, a history of spitting on random people for attention. Wait, hold on. Let me turn up my volume. Wait, did I read JPM's dono? I forgot. Hola, Aiden. Hola, JPM. Thank you so much for the first dono of the stream. $5 fucking. Crazy stuff. People were mocking me the other day for being too gracious in my acceptance of donations.
What's happening with you?
And she's spitting on, like, the homeless too. I mean, just, like, how, like, shitty do you have to? There used to be this trend. I don't know if it still happens, but it was called bum bashing, where people would go, they'd find homeless people, beat the shit out of them, and, like, upload it to the internet. And it's like, you know, it's one thing to beat somebody up, and I'd have judgment of you as well, but contextually, how much that's going to morally affect you is going to be dependent on context. Like, there are some people where if you fucking beat the shit out of them, I wouldn't really care. But it's like, just like picking out, like, the lowest members of, like, the social pecking order to humiliate for the sake of garnering online views. It's so fucking shitty.
Satsurav.
Like, if he turned around and just, like, fucking sucker punched her, I wouldn't avow it, just to be clear. But I'd understand.
Nigger.
Okay.
Fucking black nigger. Fuck you. Fucking faggot. Keep walking, you fucking cunt. Fuck off.
I mean, like, this is hate crime territory. This is, this is hate crime territory. I'm pretty sure it is, like, a crime or a misdemeanor to, like, spit on somebody. And she's evidently, like, targeting certain individuals by virtue of them being black. And she's calling them racial slurs and shit. Do I think she's, like, actually some, like, white supremacist? No, I think she's just an attention seeker that knows that she can get attention doing this. And as a result, she's, like, picking out black people and racially insulting them to appeal to a certain demographic of viewer.
Hey, you fucking nigger! Fuck you fucking nigger!
Yo!
Fuck you!
Has she ever apologized for this? Also, she is based. This is total pussy shit. She's walking up to people and she knows that she's protected by the fact that, like, you know, she's some, like, petite, like, woman or whatever the fuck, and they can't fight back. They can't fight back. She's trying to provoke people for the sake of attention. She's spitting on them. If you find her, like, based or cool, you're, like, a total fucking loser. And if you find her based or cool, like, ironically, for the meme, you're a child. You're, like, an adult infant who, essentially, like, what makes you laugh is, like, jingling keys. Haha, they said insert slur. That's funny on its own. That's not, once again, when I attack edgy humor, I don't do it from the angle of, oh, you can't make jokes about things that are offensive. You can't make jokes about race. You can't make jokes about gay people, Jews, women, etc. But I'm going to criticize it the same way I would criticize a regular joke. Does it work? Is there a setup? Merely just being racist isn't like humor. It's not humorous, right? You're just being racist, right? Like the quote-unquote edgy humor cope is like an excuse for unfunny people to gain social acceptance and be viewed as funny, because if they were forced to make normal jokes, they wouldn't be viewed as funny or like likable in any social circle. And once again, you can make very funny jokes about race, about Jews, women, gay people, whatever. But they're funny because they're funny, right? Not just because you said insert offensive thing.
Hey, fuck you! What the fuck?
And I'm not saying she's joking, by the way. There is no joke here. I'm saying the people that are like, haha, lol, that actually find this funny have, like, a very fucking lazy, childish, infantile sense of humor. But, no, she's just, like, doing hate crimes for attention.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Don't talk to me again, you fucking faggot!
And ironically enough, the same white supremacist she, like, evidently tries to appeal to always talk about how immigrants are so uncivilized or whatever. It's like, you want to talk about this is uncivilized. This is uncivilized fucking trailer trash behavior. Deport her. Honestly, deport her. Deport her.
Jesus Christ, I might...
You fucking faggot, I'm gonna beat you up! Faggot! 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 I got you on camera. Come on. Dude, Bella, a bunch of burly men are gonna come to your house because you're just rapeable as fuck.
See, here's what I'd do if I were in their shoes. Okay, I'd make sure there was evidence of what she did to me, and although I wouldn't blame people, no. I would blame you if you retaliate physically. You have to exercise impulse control, especially when it's someone looking for provocation for the sake of attention. You're just going to be giving them what they want. So no, do not respond with violence. What I would do is, because she evidently has this big insecurity of, Kathy, send me the pre-plastic surgery photo. She's somebody that is very insecure about her appearance, so will constantly post photos of herself for validation. I would get a bunch of posters, be like, have you seen this woman, with like her full legal name on it, and put them all up over her town with like some grotesque photo of her like double chin that she really hates and like tries to hide. And I would just make sure that every time she leaves the house, she is seeing photos of her disgusting face, pre-plastic surgery, and her disgusting double chin. This was her pre-plastic surgery. She doesn't want this photo out there, to be clear. She does not like this photo.
Like, these guys are gonna rape you, like, cause you just gotta be careful.
Yeah, so that's just sexual assault.
Perchance not dead. Like, I really just want to be, like, accepted for who I am, because, like, I feel like I'm like an asexual freak.
Is she intoxicated during this as well? She sounds drunk as fuck. Is she like an alcoholic?
I'm like an asexual freak, and like,
Hey, nobody's called you a sexual freak. No.
I know, but it doesn't matter. It's just.
How you come like that? Who deals
It's
with what
just
does
so
matter?
fucking difficult to
How you
do.
come like that? Who deals with what does matter? You
Like,
know?
if I had unconditional love, I feel like I'd be a different person, but I don't, and I don't value my own fucking life.
Look, I love the Irish. Honestly, my favorite group of people on earth. I grew up around I grew up around everyone. I grew up around I just grew up around all sorts of people, but the Irish people have always had a special place in my heart. But dude, she is reinforcing stereotypes about like Ireland and alcoholism. I just know in her childhood she never received attention. Yeah. Yes. Aiden, the Irish accept you as one of us. So fucking based, okay? Listen, we're gonna see a unified Ireland in my lifetime, okay? In my lifetime.
Life because of it.
You will be able to travel from Dublin to Belfast without having to cross a border.
So that you can value your own life, you can value everything. You practice what you're looking
Do you
at.
think I have BPD, or you don't know?
No, it's very hard to make a diagnosis like that. I don't think you have BPD. It's very hard to make a diagnosis.
But you don't know.
It's very hard. They can't make diagnosis like that. It's impossible, you know.
But I feel like it's like obvious. Like, stuff, I don't know.
No, but that's not a good idea.
We are never giving it back, sorry. Well, as the world becomes less religious, or at least amongst like formerly Christian nations, religious divides are in the sense of like different like sects of Christianity between Catholics, Protestants, etc. are diminishing, okay? And as they diminish, the chance of a unified Ireland becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. It's coming, it's going back.
Well, it kind of is, like, it's an attribute, like, and like, I just there's somebody fucking, I hear somebody caring, but nobody cares.
We're here, lots of people can't make it tonight.
And I miss my mom.
I know, you're not the first person.
I'm the only person.
So this was her life. She's on some Irish like street corner crying about being BPD and asexual after like she's on video groping a woman, committing hate crimes, spitting on the homeless, like
It was her one.
just like a complete fucking pathetic degenerate, insecure about the way she looks. So she constantly needs to post herself for reaffirmation, and she should be insecure. There's nothing unique about the way she looks. There's nothing appealing about it. She, quite frankly, at least in par with my standards, she looks horrible. Like, you could tell she's obviously had a tremendous amount of work done, and she's, like, incredibly insecure. And despite paying to have all that work done, she still looks mediocre as fuck. So she would compensate with an endearing personality, but she doesn't have an endearing personality. She's just she's not intelligent, she's not witty, she's not funny, she's just this insecure, lonely fucking loser that is just a horrible fucking human being. 5 from Infixed. Wearing a striped shirt. Great attention to detail, 80. What is that supposed to mean, buddy? What is that supposed to mean? Thank you, though, Infix, for the 5 fucking pounds. That puts us, ladies and gentlemen, halfway to a quarter of the way to Streamly goal. Based as fuck. Thank you so much, Infix.
Anything else in the world, I keep suppressing it, but I miss her. Yeah, I just wish I had people who loved me and stuff. Fat bitch. Supreme hates niggers! Faggot. I didn't say anything. Yeah, but
Did she get any consequence for this? Like, was she arrested? Was she institutionalized? Like, I'd love to know what happened as a result of her, like, filming herself being a complete repeated public nuisance and just, like, a piece of shit human being.
incel faggot. What's wrong with that? Yeah. I fucking hate black people. I wish I was raped. I want to kill myself.
Okay, I
Goat
guess
fucker. India.
is she in a police station? I guess she did get arrested.
You are from India. You have no rights here. This is my country. Ireland is my country. You're not from here. Know your place. You fucking worm. Subhuman. Subhuman Indian.
Why haven't the police taken her phone?
Wait, so you don't like Jews?
Yeah, nobody liked him.
I guess if they don't have, like... Okay, what the fuck? I guess if they don't have, like... if she's just being questioned and not being detained, then I guess there wouldn't be just cause to take her phone. She is Irish. Her and Tommy C break the stereotype that, because honestly, all the Irish, like, I would always, like, the Irish are the best looking people. But her and Tommy C really challenged that stereotype.
Yes.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
Every single day they kill like many kids.
Yeah, I fucking hate Jews. But you know what's worse than Jews?
Is she
Like,
talking to a police officer? What
I
the
think a black
fuck?
person is worse than a Jew, but they're almost
Wait, the police officer is agreeing that he hates Jews?
the same level. They're like rats. I don't know. Fucking hell.
Yo, and fixed $5. Top of the morning to ye. Empath chant. So fucking true. She's not spiritually Irish. She's Irish in nationality only. Nothing about her existence is Irish.
I don't know, raping kids is awesome. I want to kill myself. Fuck you. Fuck off. Fucking French cunt. Fuck you guys. I hate niggers. Fucking slant-eyed chink. Kill yourself. Indians. I hate fucking faggots.
How is she allowed to walk around like a hospital just fucking filming? Like, surely, I mean, HIPAA is like an American thing, and I don't even know if filming around a hospital necessarily violates that. It might. But I feel like that's like a major privacy issue.
Everybody dies. I hate everybody. Everybody sucks. Fuck you. Fuck off.
Did somebody just knock on my door? Ow. Okay, let me lower this. Wait, maybe she is Irish. Dude, she's a banshee. Okay, now she's more, she's actually a mythical creature. She's a fucking banshee.
Hey man, you look like an incel. What? Yeah. Just thought I'd let you know. Huh? You're gay. Cool. You look like an incel, a gay incel. Hey, retards. Hey, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Like I'm not even fucking there. All you have to do is say your fucking clothes, you stupid fucking whore.
Dude, Destiny genuinely would just fuck anyone. Holy shit. This is just like a shitty fucking like, this is a horrible person. There's no way you can't find, like, there's no way that Destiny's unable to find a woman willing to fuck him that is, I mean, I'm not saying the women he has fucked are all horrible people, but, like, you can't be that desperate that you're willing to, I mean, they're willing to like get with this.
Hey, fuck you. You faggot. Don't touch me. What's wrong with you? You fucking rapist. Don't touch me. You fucking piece of shit. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I wonder if, because people have gone in the angle he purposely targets the mentally ill or whatever. That's who he chooses to hook up with. But it seems like it seems like that could, just to be charitable, that could be a confounding variable in the sense of a lot of the women he gets with are like e-girls and online types, and there seems to just be a heavy overlap between, being involved in these like communities and having some form of mental illness. I do wonder, is it that he's targeting them so much as he knows they are and doesn't care, and then if he needs to defend himself against them, will invoke that mental illness to paint them as crazy and attack their credibility?
Oh, faggot. You're a fucking rapist! Fuck you! Fat balding retard, what's where you going? Fucking rapist. Dumb fuck. Hey.
How are you?
Not good. Nair!
Okay, I think we get the gist. Just like a horrible person, and Destiny's like, and then this fucking sweeper. I feel bad for her. Bullying them as a mentally sane person is punching down and kind of any horrible human being. That's not to say all of them, right? There's a big misconception that all serial killers have abusive childhoods. That's not true. First of all, I'm not saying that she's a serial killer or whatever, but like, I'm pretty sure most people that we would consider like abhorrent, engaging in like public behaviors that are like totally freakish and like abnormal and make them a bad human being did not have a good childhood. But to use that as like oh, you can't bully this person, is like, it's total sweeping, because then it's like, okay, can you name a person online that is commonly bullied that isn't incredibly mentally ill as well? Like, is this person spoken against like bullying Chris Chan or for that matter, like any major lolcow? 2 from Patrick Starr. Destiny's the type of guy that would smash Grace Thorpe. See, Grace is like, or was, not now, she was good looking, but it's like, you would never be able to get over the fact that you're Eskimo brothers with her dad. Like, honestly, like, like, that's like an immediate, like, fucking turn off. I don't understand how anyone could try to get with her, knowing that you're by virtue of that, you're now becoming Eskimo brothers with her dad. Not everyone with a bad childhood does this. Well, obviously not, but that doesn't mean that a bad childhood cannot be a contributing factor to doing this, right? People have different coping mechanisms and stress responses in regards to a bad childhood. And sometimes there's also a partial genetic component to it. It's like nature plus nurture. So yeah, not everyone with a bad childhood goes and does this, right? Just like if you find a serial killer that was abused as a kid, people could be like, I was abused as a kid and I didn't go out killing people. And it's like, that's true. And that's why it's not an excuse for what they did. But that doesn't mean it wasn't a contributing factor in the sense of this like led them to be violent. It probably did. But that was a combination with some genetic predisposition they had when they were born. $2 from Infixed. Destiny would clap Isabella Janke. I've heard that name, but I don't remember who the fuck she is. We don't use the term Eskimo brothers anymore, Aiden. We call them Inuit oh yeah, I forgot. That's offensive now, right? Maybe it's always been offensive. I don't know. I haven't really met any Inuit peoples before. $10 from Chris. Aiden, I'm sorry for whatever I did. Can we be friends again? I don't have any beef. $5 from Tectone. Aiden, what would you do if you were with her and she shrieked like that? I'd probably start screaming back, "This person is here to meet an 11-year-old boy!" And like pull out my phone in response. Yo, thank you guys so much for the donos. Holy fuck. We're almost halfway to Streamly goal. Are you serious, bro? Thank you guys so much. He said he said he was 12. True. All right. Well, that kind of wraps up our Empath Chan segment. I feel like I have brain damage. I'm so fucking sleep deprived all the time, man. Our Empath Chan segment. Just like an all-around shitty fucking person. Hold on, I need to drink my fucking coffee. It's the lead. It is the lead in the vape. Dude, you're literally my mom. You're my mom on an alt, dude. You're my mom on an alt. I get like influenza. It's the vape. The vape did it. Not covering his response. I'm not as like obsessed with the guy as you are. I'm sorry. In other news, okay? In other news, a new news story came out. Armed officers held a student at gunpoint after an AI gun detection system mistakenly flagged a Doritos bag as a firearm. They made me get on my knees, put my hands behind my back, and cuff me. How do you huh? How? This is like the story where the kid got shot by a hunter because he had been mistaken as a squirrel. Concerns over AI surveillance in schools are intensifying after armed officers swarmed a 16-year-old student outside Kenwood High School in Baltimore when an AI gun detection system falsely flagged a Doritos bag as a firearm. Taki Allen was hanging out with friends after football practice on October 20th when multiple police cars suddenly pulled up. It was like 8 cop cars that came pulling up for us, Allen told WBAL TV 11 News. They started walking towards me with guns, talking about get on the ground. I was like, what? They made me get on my knees, put my hands on my back, and cuff me. They then searched me and found nothing, he said. Allen was handcuffed at gunpoint. Police later showed him an AI captured image that triggered the alert. The crumpled Doritos bag in his pocket had been mistaken for a gun. It was mainly like, am I gonna die? Are they gonna kill me? It showed me the picture. It said that looks like a gun. I said, no, it's chips. His name is Taki, and he got arrested over a bag of Doritos? Or detained over a bag of Doritos? Dude, there was this case where this kid took a bite out of his Pop-Tart, and he got suspended because it looked like a gun, according to school officials. The AI system behind the incident is part of OmniAlert's gun detection technology introduced in Baltimore County Public Schools last year. It scans existing surveillance footage and alerts police in real time when it detects what it believes to be a weapon. OmniAlert later admitted the incident was a false positive, but claimed the system functioned as intended, saying its purpose is to prioritize safety and awareness through rapid human verification. Baltimore County Public Schools echoed the company's statement in a letter to parents, offering counseling services to students impacted by the incident. They didn't apologize. They just told me it was protocol. I don't know how comfortable I feel about like the reliance of like AI and like real world application that is like this consequential. I know it's not, AI is like very different depending on the type you're using or whatever, but there are still like far too many mistakes, right? Because like police confrontations can lead to innocent people getting killed. A lot of people don't respond properly in the presence of like armed officers shouting at them, even when they know they haven't done anything wrong. And that leads to sometimes the police actually killing them. That's why swatting is so dangerous, and people have died as a result of it. All right, green, green, green. Not only is your comment exactly what I'm trying to get away from, but it's not funny. I didn't laugh, okay? I did not laugh. This is the problem, okay? This is the problem. Edginess gives people an excuse to be lazy, unfunny, no effort into making a joke. Completely failed at making anyone laugh, and have just made yourself more unlikable in the process. Hold on. Green is banned, ladies and gentlemen. World peace has been achieved. Green has finally been banned. Joke policing is never a good look. Who gives a fuck what's a good look or not? Only pussies like, not a good look. Not a good look. I'll police your jokes, okay? It's my fucking community. And if I don't find you funny and find you to be like an annoying little fucking pest that keeps trying to be funny and fails miserably, I will ban you. I will police your jokes. I will tell you you're unfunny. I will tell you you're unlikable. And I will be honest in the course of doing that. This isn't a good look. Anyways. So, for our next segment, I'm going to have to discuss an individual that I've actively avoided talking about, and on the rare occasion that my name has come up to them, several individuals who I don't want any association with have coincidentally popped into my chat. But at this point, I'm just going to take whatever I get for it, and if shit starts happening in this chat, or to me, as a result of this, it's just going to prove my point, okay? There is an individual out there by the name of ZV, okay? He hangs around commentary. He made a video on morale for making fun of his molestation, or so. I don't remember exactly what it was. When ZV has actually done like the same thing to other people, and in private he's like, yeah, I know. He like purposefully portrays himself as the victim on his public YouTube channel and plays up to some persona where he cares about morality, when in private he does not care about morality. But the biggest issue I have with him is he is caught on tape confessing to, and a lot of people have been scared to talk about this because they don't want to get harassed just by talking about him. And the thing is, right, I have tried to avoid that risk for far too long. I'm going to say it. Okay, if he has a good defense, he can DM it to me and I'll platform it. But essentially, ZV has associations with a group that I'm not going to mention by name, but this group has been accused of behaviors ranging from spamming gore and child porn to doxing, and far beyond that. They, even amongst like the most degenerate corners of the internet, they have a bad reputation. And apparently, and it's funny because when I was trying to explain to somebody why I don't talk to ZV, so they went to him and asked him about it with mentioning my name, and then all of the sudden, members of said community, notable members, start popping up in my chat. This is a group that involves young children too, like young children engage as a part of this group. But ZV was on record, on call, admitting to association with this group, and I'm addressing this now because I don't want to leave any room for confusion. Ace Howler got ZV to admit to this, but for some reason, the video is like impossible to find. It's unlisted. I had to get him to send it to me unlisted. So everyone is always like, where's the proof of this? Where's the proof? And it's like, for some reason, I guess Ace didn't consider this like pressing enough to leave somewhere that's easily accessible. Perry told you I've known from 5 months. I've known for 5 months, and no. Perry didn't tell me that Perry was okay accepting this guy's donations after I had told him this, okay? And I literally said to Perry, you know, I don't police what you do, but, you know, if you don't break associations with this guy and stop interacting with him, and I hate to do this, I hate to police associations, but when somebody's admitting to being associated with a group that sends child porn, I'm absolutely going to break associations if you associate with that person. And I said to him, you know, like, I don't care that he occasionally gives you $5. You know, if you don't stop interacting with him, I'm going to stop talking to you, like, period. He's done worse shit that I know of in private. And the thing is, right, he admits to people in private he's diagnosed antisocial personality disorder. You know, people say that online to seem cool, and I don't really believe them. This is the one time I believe it, with knowledge of various things that he has done in private that I can't even go too much into detail about for like the wishes of the people that have told me.
Alright, we'll see. Double checking something real quick.
Oh! Ace Alda!
What?
Hi! Hi, Ace.
Okay.
What do you saw the press?
What do you want to tell me?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Yep.
Hold on. What do you saw the press? So,
Tired. What do you want?
you're sleepy? Okay. Well, Ace, yeah, it's been fun. I put it off fun. Honestly, you're one of the nicest people. Despite the fact that you're kind of evil like those guys. I had it off fun. You were one of the people who...
What?
No, this is obviously not the same person as CV, the Australian woman. You can just listen to his voice and tell that's not true. But the other thing I hate about him is he's a chameleon. When he wants to appeal to, like, a more woke fucking... I hate to use that term unironically, but that's the only term I could think of. A more, like, woke... Like, we love accountability audience. He is so good at posturing himself as some sort of victim. And then in private or on stream, when you point out the hypocrisies to him and his own condemnation versus some of the things he himself has done, he'll just laugh and do the irony pill thing. So in private, he is like the I don't care about anything, like I'll fuck with you kind of like personality. And then in the course of his videos that do get significant viewership, he portrays himself as a completely different person. It's a total switch up.
So what? Like, are you actually part of these guys?
I'm kind of emotional now.
What'd you say?
Ace,
Yeah.
you think it actually get emotional. Ace, I will be quitting YouTube. I'll be leaving.
All right.
Someone decided to come clean. Yes, I do know people from the UTTP. Yes, I do know them. Yes. It was pretty obvious. I'll be leaving. I'll be quitting. I had so much fun, Ace. So much fun.
Wait.
And just to be clear, okay, Noid and Nico can vouch. Noid and Nico are significant Soyjack party users or whatever the fuck. And that's a site that tolerates a lot short of like CP. And UTTP is too degenerate for you know Soyjack. I mean, obviously, right? There's a difference between like being a chronic edge lord and hell even being a doxer, and like actually like being okay with people that go around posting CP. But there's several notable individuals associated with this group that after ZV had been informed that I was relaying my concerns to someone in private, coincidentally, despite never being in my chat before, popped up in my chat.
So you were intentionally a part of these guys?
No intention. I knew like 2-3 people.
Yeah, ZV is like an ACC type person, but not really. I don't know if he fits neatly into any given community.
Like,
I
okay, I'm just confused about a couple things. So did you know that these guys were UTTP and stayed friends with them?
do I know that these people were UTTP? I don't think it matters anymore, Ace. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm finished. It's done
Well,
though.
I'm asking you, like,
You're gonna send this to Vio, and then he'll tie up the bones. Beautiful video. So, yes, I did know about 2 to 3 people in UTTP. I was aware of the thing they were doing with Vio. I was aware. I knew. I wouldn't go after anyone. Not once.
So my understanding is that UTTP is like this disorganized kind of group that, you know, they're anti-trolling or whatever, but they're like aligned with like people known as foodists or some shit, which are like adjacent to like, I mean, not directly associated with, but fall under the larger like 764 type umbrella. And these groups in general, they have a lot of young children involved with them, specifically UTTP. And they engage in like every degenerate behavior online, like known to man.
Told them.
Yeah, ZV is via key. They're the same person.
Oh my flock. No, I was aware. All I would do was just be like, haha, this thing happened. And I'd be like, no way. And then they would do it, right? Not once I told them to do anything.
did you tell them to at
I
least
was aware.
stop? Like, dude,
I told them to chill out several times.
you know how far they went, right?
How far did they go? The only thing I know is that they were sending him like voicemails or something.
They went even farther than that, dude.
Like, well, I'm not even friends with these guys anymore. Because these guys came after me.
Well, I'm not gonna say, but they definitely did something with his docs. But I'm not gonna specify.
They come after me too. They originally, you know how this happened? They came after me in B server. They came after me in B server. I was like, you got the wrong person. I was like, you got the wrong person. Go after Caitlin Coy. You're not going to get anything from me. You're not going to get any entertainment value from me, right? You've tried several times. You're not going to get anything from me. You're not going to get entertainment. Nothing, right? If you want real entertainment, go to Caitlin Coy. She's a love.
He says he's now like disassociated with them. But behind the scenes, I've been told that isn't true. And the only thing I have to substantiate that is the fact that coincidentally, right after hearing that I was complaining about him in private, did people who were part of UTTV start showing up in my chat. There was one specific individual. Where is this? Dude, Noid or Nico remembers this guy's name. I don't know if either of you are watching, but this like he's an actual child who's a part of this group. Showed up in my chat, and this child has like a history of like posting CP. Hold on. Dude, these like I don't know too much about UTTP specifically, but unironically, you know, they talk about drag queen story hour or whatever. There needs to be bipartisan attention and agreement on these like nihilistic groups that engage in online degeneracy and attempt to indoctrinate more kids, and are involved in the distribution of CP, encouraging abuse against people, animals, self-harm, etc. You know, the 7-6, and I think it is getting more attention. But these like nihilistic death cults are, in my opinion, that it's an ISIS level threat, right? It is like I don't know how neatly UTTP itself falls into that. I know there's significant overlap. But in like, in my opinion, right, I think that this is a threat as big as ISIS. And I mean, you've seen this evidence by there have been several mass shooters. All of them, all the big ones were minors that have been linked to these like vague groups of like online perma irony, nihilism. You Solomon Henderson at Antioch High School, Samantha Rupp now at that other school, who was working in coordination with a guy from California. Solomon and Natalie I had some link to each other. I forget what it is, but she was working in coordination with some guy from California who was planning on doing something. Like this is like serious shit. This is like very serious shit. Kids are in danger because of it. There was actually, and it shows you the extent of the overlap. Essentially, there used to be a member of Small Commentary, who he still floats around nowadays. I had to advise like people in ShudLogic server to get rid of him. I think he's still a kid himself now. He might be 17. And I used to, I think, vaguely know of him, and he knew people I knew. But essentially, this kid got involved in these like, not like these vague, disorganized, nihilistic, perma-irony, fucking send CP, like, groups or whatever. And he was like, it started with like, I'm pretty sure it started with like threats, and like it ended with him actually going into people's DMs and spamming CP. And I hadn't heard of him for years. And then what's happening is the Cameron of 305 shit happens, and the girl who's accusing Cameron, Jelly, has a history being involved with like these, essentially, like, in my opinion, you could classify them as grooming servers. And she sent me, because I'm dubious when people tell me they're working with the FBI. She had sent me evidence of her she had sent me her communications with the FBI. And it all looked official. It all added up. I believe it was actually the FBI based on what I had seen. Where she's submitting several names. And one of those names, Jelly's not a part of commentary, by the way. Neither is Cameron. One of the names she's submitting, is familiar to me. And I realize it's that kid. It's that kid from years ago. He's like involved now in these servers and shit. And he's only 17 now.
I know, like, oh, down for real? I was like, yeah. And then they went off the house. They left me alone.
Send them after Caitlin Coy.
Yeah, I did. I went and said, listen, you're not going to get any entertainment from me, right? It was either me or her, right? Because they weren't going to leave me alone. They were after this Sonic guy for like 3 years.
Just to be clear, many of the children that they get to participate in their degeneracy, in my opinion, are essentially victims of grooming. Now, some of the children know better, especially when you're 17. When we're talking about the 12 to 14-year-olds, I think that they should be treated as victims, because ultimately they are. They've been groomed into continuing the perpetration of the people that groom them, but I think that they are victims themselves simultaneously.
I was like, nah, I don't want to deal with that. I was like, let me give you a better locale. Right? Let me give you a better one. Because you're not going to get anything from me. You're going to get nothing from me. Right? Everyone thinks I'm transphobic, homophobic. They think everything. You're going to get nothing from me. And they were like, damn. I was like, yeah. And it worked. And they left me alone. But recently, one of these people...
And just to be clear, if ZV wants to give me his defense, I will platform it. I will platform his defense. I'll even let him call in. Okay? Because I think that everybody I'm accusing of something or speaking negatively on has a right to call in. So he's welcome if he wants to offer that. Or disputes any of the claims I'm making.
I went a bit far. So I was like, no, I don't want to deal with that. Bye-bye. I got this guy off. Now, I knew this guy since I was 16. So there's some things I said that he does. The only things that he knows, the other people do not know. We had a little bit of a falling out because he was being a bit too evil. And a little incident happened on my stream, which I will not talk about. So,
Okay, then there's still
I tried to spoke to them lately. Huh? What's the matter?
Okay, So, well, I guess more of a personal curiosity. Did you have anything to do with the South and Echo shit?
No, nothing. I've been so honest. I have nothing to do with that. I'm still shocked how that's being tied to me. Nothing to do with me.
Okay.
I'm not even friends with Safe. Safe is annoying. He used to spam my DMs, trying to advertise his videos. I don't like Safe. Right.
Okay. Okay, so you did send. Fuck me, dude. And that means they were right. You did send harassment to Caitlin Coy, just not in the way that I thought you did.
I decided to be like, go after them, go after. I was like, no, it was either me or her. It was either me or her. I'm not. They be after her for 3 years. Okay, that would be me. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that, bro. They were like,
Hold on, sorry. I wish Nico was here, because I'll advise Nico, or whoever is familiar, to please keep an eye on the fucking chat.
I didn't want to deal with that. Nothing.
Then why was Lio targeted?
Why was Lio targeted? Because I was in the GC and I was like just laughing at Lio, and they were like, oh, this guy's a long time material, and then they immediately came after him. Right.
So you kind of did put Lio on their radar.
I have reason to believe he's still in these group chats, as evident by the very coincidental thing I just explained to you. Essentially, Domino was in my server. I said to Domino, I don't want my name being brought up to ZV. I don't want to risk anything through association, but just like, you have to take my word that I'm not lying about some random nobody who I have no, personal history with. Just like, I mean, if you like, and Domino goes and DMs him, are you really involved in this? Aiden says you are, mentioning my name. And right after, and that's why Domino got banned. Because, like, even if he didn't believe me, and had to go verify for himself, if you believe there's a possibility there that somebody's involved with this, like, the ultra fucking nihilist pedo troll group or whatever, it's, like, incredibly irresponsible to then go and invoke names of people that told you about it to the person you're trying to question about their involvement. And then that led to several of these people showing up in my chat. And that's why Domino got banned, because I just think that's like such a fucking stupid choice on his end. Well, talking on stream about it, I agree, but at this point, I don't care. I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose anymore. Okay? I'm gonna talk about this because I think it's important. And if they come after me as a result of that, that's just gonna further prove my point.
I talk about a lot of silly stuff in my group chat, so it's not like I talk about anything. Like, I talk about a lot of silly stuff. They look at it and they're like, haha, and they scroll past, right?
Dude.
I don't think anyone would like take after Lio.
Bro.
Maybe they just thought he was entertaining.
What do you think's gonna happen when you're talking about someone directly to UTTP people?
Not all of them. Like, there's only like about 1 or 2 of them in there. I don't think.
Brother.
Everyone else is just like a little silly GC.
Okay, then I guess another thing is, why were you lying about it so much?
I'm trying to
So why am I
find
lying about it so much?
Cyanide's old account.
It's not my career, nigga. I make £300 a month. £300 a month. Hello, that's £300 a month, buddy. That's £300 a month. That's £300 a month, bro. You think I'm playing? That's 300. But now I'm like, no, that's not point.
Does hold on, let me ask Noid.
Okay.
Yo, thank you for the 2 from Patrick Starr. Aiden, please dress up as Stalin this Halloween. I'll think about it. $10 from Will Is Me. Thank you so much. Holy, you guys are on fire today. That puts us over halfway to Streamly goal. And we hit temp goal. So fucking base. Thank you guys so much.
Fucking hell. Okay, so you are guilty.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, dude.
No, I'm switching anyway. I had a lot of fun in the community. I had a lot of fun.
Bro.
I had a lot of fun. You're really nice, Ace. I'll always remember you.
Don't be gay. What, did you also send them at me, or was that unrelated?
I never said anyone at you.
Well, a few of them went to my server, so.
Who?
A few of them, like Avenger and shit like that.
I don't know who Avenger is.
Other people associated with UTTP, but if you didn't do it, it's whatever.
Why would I send anyone after you?
I don't know. Dude,
So I like you, Ace. Why do you think I came to you to admit? Why do I think I came to you, bro?
Okay, so then I guess if you're just being so open, I guess another question I would have is, I've already asked this before, but were you being honest that you didn't kill a cat?
Did not kill a cat, buddy.
Okay. Fucking hell.
I've not killed a single animal. I haven't killed anyone. I'm a loser.
Have you tortured animals? Have you ever tortured an animal?
I can't do anything for that.
And is any of the things in the document any true at all that Danielle made, or were you being honest?
No, nothing in that's true.
Okay.
Nothing. The only thing that could have any truth, yeah, no, that can't be true either.
You have
Because
to
that's
remember, so this guy's dishonest and manipulative as fuck. Never take what he says at face value. Never take, because if you catch him on a lie, he's not embarrassed by that. He'll just laugh and be like, well, I guess I did that, or whatever. He has no qualms about lying, being manipulative as fuck, being essentially a chameleon, fitting whatever role will be most beneficial to him at any given time.
what I mean.
Okay, so fuck me, man. Okay. So I just didn't think you were gonna. Okay, yeah. All right. That means I'm gonna cut you off officially, though, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I know. I did a lot of fun, so
Don't be
thank
gay.
you.
Don't be gay.
I did.
Yeah, I think we're done here, man.
Okay, bye, Ace.
Bye. Fucking hell, dude.
I mean, you have an admission that he has prior association with these individuals. Oh, here it is. I got it. Sorry, it was not Noid that told me about it. It was Nico. I'm not sure if you care, but ZV made a video on Himpleton on his stream admitting to lying a bunch in it. Of course he does. He lies at any like, the thing about the Himpleton call with ZV is like, it's embarrassing for Himpleton. It's funny to laugh at, but you are watching a guy have some sort of mental breakdown. And like your average person with like a basic moral compass would see something like that and and maybe be like, dude, what am I doing here? Even if you're a troll, when you're like sitting in a call blackmailing a guy and watching him have a mental breakdown, he doesn't do it because he doesn't have a conscience. He doesn't have a conscience. And in private, or when he's not on his main channel, he'll play into the fact that he's, antisocial personality disorder type. He'll play into it. Has no problem admitting that he lies, etc. Depending on who he's talking to be clear. But then on his channel, he's a totally different person that portrays himself as like the good guy or the victim. Like the way this guy operates is so manipulative, dude. Hold on. One sec. Yeah, so essentially Nico had pointed out that somebody associated with this group was in my chat, and I had looked up his name. And I mean, he's like a kid, but like the shit he was like being accused of on all these various he's been doxed like 10 times over. His address is like listed on I think what was it on Google Maps as like a homeless shelter. But like the shit that this kid was like accused of being involved in for his age was like fucking insane, dude. Hold on, I'm looking for it right now. But like this guy only popped into my chat after ZV had heard that I was accusing him of involvement with the UTTP. Behind the scenes. Keep in mind, I actively avoided publicly discussing this to avoid being targeted. And it is, so the only person that knew at that point was Domino, and then ZV after he was informed. And this was fairly recent. I think a significant time after this call with Ace Howler. So I don't think he severed those associations and has any gripes with like being in group chats with these people. And the kid in question himself is like a minor. I don't no, in my YouTube chat, this person had comment, I don't allow, he's not in my server, you fucking idiot. I don't allow minors in my server. But anyways, you could say I'm poisoning the well. This segment isn't even about ZV. This segment is about Toastify, who is being accused by ZV and Purple Perry Gaming of plagiarism. So let's take a look at this. Just to be clear, ZV could be a horrible person, and Toastify could still potentially be a plagiarist. So just because ZV... I'm just letting you know this in the sense of do not feel sympathetic for him, but if Toastify plagiarized from him, it's still plagiarism. So let's take a look at this video.
Do I have this for the unemployed? I didn't think I'd be making this video, like ever, so expect less editing than usual. So almost 3 years ago, when I was about 15, I made my first ever individually researched drama video on the Splatoon creator Fantastic. For those who aren't in the Splatoon community, Fantastic was a creator who was, well, accused into oblivion. In the community, people just casually parrot the narrative Vian was a predator, and me being a literal drone when I was like 14 to 15, just believed it. Until I actually decided to look into the situation and thus made a video on it. Judging by how it was unironically my first big drama video.
Do you credit chat when they get you clips? I try to. If somebody clips me, I think every time recently that I've been clipped, I've shouted out the person doing it. But that's not plagiarism. It's still my, even though they've clipped it, it's still my intellectual property. So I just realistically have to credit myself, which I don't need to do. But I do credit the people that do it, because that's a good thing to do.
It sucks more than my usual content, but I did gather receipts, interviewed people in DMs, etc. I went out of my way to prove how a majority of the claims levied towards Vian are void. So imagine my surprise when Toastify, a YouTuber which was one of my main inspirations to make drama content in the first place, with over 100,000 subscribers by the way, made a video on Fantastic and used my receipts from my 2 to 3 year old videos. It's cool until you realize Toastify just never credited me. Like at all. Like when I'm actually looking at this, like I'm sorry, like what did he take from my video? What did he take? Like we could do this right now if we go to, I think this was my second video. So this screenshot says, and that means Vian was like 10 years older, so we can probably try and find that. Yep, found it. This video is from 3 years ago. We go back to the Fantastic video. The screenshot's right here, slightly lower quality. He just lifted it. It's so blatant.
You have clippers? I sometimes do. If you clip for me, I will plug the fuck out of your Twitter. If you clip for me, look at Jimmy's clip of me as an example of a great clip. Okay, you format it streamer, and then maybe in brackets, streamer Aiden Underground, and then brackets, at exiled Aiden, says blank, does blank, talks about blank, gives his opinions on blank. And then you post it, and I will credit the fuck out of you.
Look at this, bro. And that means Vian was like 10 years. He literally just lifted the whole thing. He could have just asked me for it. I could just tell this was diving. Go back. So we could do this right now. If we, like, when I'm actually a video on Fantastic, and use my receipts from my 2 to 3 year old videos. It's cool until you realize Toastify just never credited me. Like at all. Like when I'm actually looking at this, like receipts from my 2 to 3 year old videos. It's cool until you realize Toastify just never credited me. Like at all. Like when I'm actually looking at this, like I'm sorry, like what did he take from my video? What did he take? Like we could do this right now if we go to, I think this was my second video. So this screenshot says, and that means Vian was like 10 years older, so we can probably try and find that. Yep, found it. This video is from 3 years ago. We go back to the Fantastic video. The screenshot's right here, slightly lower quality. He just lifted it. It's so blatant.
Wait,
look at this.
If he took it directly from your video, you have color, you have like Universe Magic Bullet or like Universe, like Unilux or Unimojo on top of this, which color grades it. His screenshot does not have color grading, and this isn't, nobody would consider this unless he's lifting it directly from your video. Like he actually just went out of his way to like, this isn't really proof of anything.
Bro, and that means Vian was like 10 years. He literally just lifted the whole thing. He could have just asked me for it. I could just tell this was directly lifted from my video, because this is how my tablet format screenshots are too. Like if I go to my video, in my original video, I have a segment dedicated to Poe Kenny's allegations. I was the only one who archived Poe Kenny's tweets and the clip of Fantastic's supposed video. You can really tell I made this 3 years ago, holy crap. So here's the screenshot of the profile. It's literally the exact same. It's the exact same. It's the
That's not the
exact same screenshot. Then we have my screenshot saying, in case anyone is wondering why people hate Fantastic, we go back here in case anyone's
Is that the exact same screenshot?
Post video. You can really tell I made this 3 years ago, holy crap. So here's the screenshot of the profile. It's literally the exact same. It's the exact.
Huh?
It's the
It's just a photo of the same profile, and yours is this is via keys, right? Yours is cropped at the banner. Maybe at full screen it isn't.
exact same screenshot. Then we have my screenshot saying, in case anyone is wondering why people hate fantastic. We go back here, in case anyone's it's the exact same.
It's of this. Wait. You're both covering the same YouTuber, and the accusations against them. Of course, you're gonna have an overlap in the screenshots that you show. That's not proof that he lifted anything from you.
Format. It's the exact same size.
The format, wow, the super original format of putting a PNG of a tweet on screen. That is not exactly the same. It's just a screenshot of the same thing.
The exact same format. It's the exact same size and format. Holy crap. Oh my god,
No,
bro.
wait, it's not the same size either.
It's the exact same screenshot. Then we have my screenshot saying, in case anyone is wondering why people hate fantastic. It's the exact same screenshot. Then we have my screen.
Okay, his screenshot is cropped at the top and bottom. Okay, it's cropped at the top and bottom.
Screenshot saying, in case anyone is wondering why people hate fantastic.
I just want to compare the crops.
It's the exact same screenshot. Then we have my
So where it's cropped at clip, and then at the top.
screenshot saying, in case anyone is wondering why people hate fantastic. We go.
It might be the same. It could be the same, to be clear. It could be the same. But actually, it might just be the same. Because it's cropped at the same distance from the top and bottom. It might be the same. I'd say it's lazy, but I wouldn't, like, consider this, like, meaningfully plagiarism. You know, in the sense of, like, an academic essay or whatever, like, not only are you supposed to quote the original source, the intellectual property, but I think you have to say retrieved from like the person you found it from. But this is like somebody else's tweet. So the tweet itself would not belong to ZV. However, I don't know how it would hold up if like the screenshots were ripped directly from stills from ZV's video. This isn't like meaningful at all.
Back here, in case anyone's.
If anything, you can make a criticism about like minor laziness.
It's the exact same format. It's the exact same size, the exact same format.
Wait.
It's the exact same size and format.
Can we do an overlay of one on top of the other? Yeah, it is cropped the same.
Anyone is wondering why people hate fantastic. We go back here, in case anyone's. It's the exact same format. It's the exact same size, the exact same format. It's the exact same size and format. Holy crap. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god, bro.
Does Toastify edit his own videos as well? This could be a case of, because this does happen sometimes, this could be a case of this tweet is no longer up. The only remaining source is, or screenshot, is from ZV's video. And he ripped it from there, but didn't want to credit him for obvious reasons. That's not an excuse to not credit somebody just because they're an awful person. But if like, I'm pretty sympathetic if ZV was the only source of this screenshot. What would be meaningful criticism of, like, plagiarism is the stealing of, like, ZV's actual, like, intellectual property, original thoughts, opinions, etc. Like, if elements of the script were identical, I'd consider that, like, meaningful plagiarism. If it's the case of you're the only remaining source for a screenshot of something, and he uses that screenshot, I'd consider that as bad as, like, taking an image off of Google Images as, like, B-roll, and then not crediting the original photographer. Like, could we potentially make an argument for some form of plagiarism? Sure, but, like, in its, like, absolutely, like, most light form, where it's, like, not really that meaningful, to be honest.
Come on, Toastify. It's literally the exact same screenshot. This isn't debatable at all. He shows my own comments. These are comments for my own, like, these are my own comments. This is a comment on my own video. And then you see the comment right there? You see the comment right there that he's taken, not only has he taken my receipts, he's taken my comments too. He's taken my comments as well. He took my comments as well. Oh my God, you can't make this up. This guy commented on my video. We go back to mine, you see this? He's taken my comments. No, he took... Look at this, bro. I can't breathe. Look at these screenshots. Look at this screenshot here. Look at this, bro. Look at this. He could have just gone to TikTok and checked himself. This one's the worst I've ever seen. This one, I'm speechless. I literally wrote on this one. This is my handwriting. Like, this is my own handwriting. And he's...
Wait, really? Wait, hold on.
Look at this, bro. Look at this. He could have just gone to TikTok and checked himself. This one's the...
Okay, yeah, that's super fucking lazy. I'll be honest. I'm like sympathetic if it's a case of you need sourcing, and this is the only remaining screenshot, you know, of said image. But it's even gotten to the point where you're like, actually, you're not even, hell, you're not even going through the effort of at least trying to make it not look like it's stolen, right? I mean, this is over a completely white background. You could have just covered it up.
Worst I've ever seen. This one, I'm speechless. I literally wrote on this one. This is my handwriting. Like, this is my own handwriting. And he's... Oh my God, bro.
Well, from what I can discern, these claims of grooming just sprung out from random online discourse. You ask people where it came from, and they just tell you they heard it from someone else. They seem to be nothing more than unsupported rumors. Alongside saying he was a groomer, there's claims he was a racist and that he let minors draw NSFW. Again, claims that have no evidence or supporting proof behind them. So I'm not f***ing kidding. This is the level of proof we're at. There were also accusations that he had let people make Rule 34 art of his character Bridget, despite her being a minor. This is another totally unproven claim.
Do I even need to say anything? These are my DMs with Octa. I went and asked Octa about the situation when I first heard about it. I went and personally reached out to her to find out about this. Not you! The way that Toastify is presenting this is as if he himself reached out to Octa regarding the situation. Just more DMs of me and Octa. Like, he just lifted. At this point, I'm just tired, bro. At this point, I'm just tired. I went out of my way to interview Fire Roker to get these DMs. I'm the one who went through the effort to interview this guy to get these receipts. And I'm not even being credited. This isn't the first time Toastify has done this either. As in another video he made, Dear YouTubers, you are not the police. He used one of my DM screenshots.
And who could forget what he said that his DMs, where he says he's going to simp for her, says he has a crush.
Okay, this maybe what I would do if I were in Toastify or the editor's shoes is if it's at the point where you have no other source for these screenshots, I would say, bearing in mind the only place remaining that, like, because this situation was so long ago, evidence is scarce. The only place we could find remaining screenshots was from a YouTuber known as Via Key, who has a plethora of accusations against himself, like, mentioned that he's a bad person, and then, but at that point, you've still credited him without doing an endorsement. That's what I would have done.
Her, compliments her looks, and engages in what he knew was her sexual interest, that all apparently wasn't flirting. We are all misinformed because that was some highbrow satire. This one's gone under the radar as well. When he says that when he was calling her cute, he meant it in a fatherly way. Then it turned to him saying,
This one's gone under the radar as well. When he's...
Wait, what is Brion accused of doing?
This one's gone under the radar as well. When he says that when he was calling her cute, he meant it in a fatherly way.
This is just a small one, so who really cares? I didn't pay mind to this because it's just a single DM screenshot, especially considering Toastify personally asked me for it on stream. And
I get not wanting to... Okay, so we have no evidence that it's a repackaged version of his video. That's why I say this is like a lighter tier of plagiarism. What's going to matter to me is if he's doing patchwork plagiarism, where he's clearly getting his information, not merely screenshots, but like the information itself from ZV's video, and is like actually just like lazily rewriting aspects of ZV's own script and presenting it in the exact same order in which it was written without credit. That's going to be meaningful plagiarism. And it's like, yeah, like you at that point, especially when you're using so many screenshots, if it was like one screenshot that he used and it's because ZV was the only source, or remaining source of that screenshot, but he didn't want to bring him up anyway and didn't think it was a big deal because it's someone else's tweet, whatever, then I'd be sympathetic. But when you're using that many screenshots from his video, yeah, you absolutely need to credit him in some way. So I'm sympathetic to not wanting to mention his name. But if you do need to use his screenshots, because this was so long ago, and there might not be other places to source or to get actual evidence or screenshots of the situation at the time from, you're going to need to mention him in some manner. You can do it in a way that's not an endorsement, though. you would say essentially what I said, like, the situation is really scattered with like all sorts of people saying different things. In the course of researching this to try to understand the original allegations, I had to go look back at screenshots of public discourse at the time, but because it was so long ago, this type of evidence is scarce and was sourced from one of the only remaining collections of evidence on this at the time, from a YouTuber known as Via Key, who himself has been accused of and admitted to doing a plethora of horrible things. Didn't you say this guy just lies? He does lie? Yes? Wait, I'm sorry. Do you fucking I'm sorry. You're trolling. I'm not taking the bait. I'm not taking. You actually think because I'm fucking accused, because I say somebody lies all the time, that completely means I like totally disregard the possibility that they might be telling the truth about something? That means they never tell the truth? Because I say they lie a lot? Really? Is that like, you actually think that?
They gave it to him. You see, I used to be a channel member and patron of Toastify for I think over a year until he banned me a while.
So why give him the he's no. ZV's providing receipts comparing both videos which are publicly available. So his credibility is not needed to assess the situation because he's actually providing evidence that can be assessed and stand on its own. Credibility only matters if the person making a claim relies on their credibility to substantiate said claim. If a person who's a pathological liar makes a claim and provides verifiable evidence of something occurring, the fact that they're a liar doesn't matter. It either happened or it didn't. It's either substantiated or it isn't. If it's a case of trust me, bro, or recalling some personal interaction or exchange, or making an allegation, then yes, their lying is relevant. But that's not what's happening here.
Back. Yes, he unironically blacklisted me from giving him free money. You won't take my money, but you will take my receipts. When you're actively taking screenshots from my original video, even those I literally wrote over, proceeding to not credit me is insane. I know for a fact, if a bigger creator did the same to Toastify, he'd at the very least have something to say about it. But I cannot stress this enough. Imagine watching my own video, taking most if not all the receipts, making your own video, and not even crediting me for finding them in the first place. Some of which are literally DMs between me and others. If you needed receipts for your video so badly, why didn't you interview these people? Why didn't you contact these people to get the receipts? Why'd you have to steal them from me? That's not to say Toastify didn't do any research of his own, because he did. I'm just acknowledging the fact that he took some of mine and never credited me for it. Now don't misconstrue my point here. I don't care if Toastify made a video on fantastic. If I'm going to be completely honest, I think this video is significantly better and more constructive than mine. I did make the one that was about 15 off a roll, but I just find it scummy. You take my work and not even credit me. Here's a little fun fact. Toastify doesn't like me.
I don't like you. You want to be simple about it? Yeah, I'll be simple about it. I don't like you.
Is ZV gonna bring up why he doesn't like him?
I mean, that's common knowledge, and that's perfectly fine. I know Toastify doesn't want to associate with me, and that's also fine. But if you don't want to associate with me, why go to my video and directly live screenshots from there? You don't like me, but you take my research? It's odd, because Toastify has credited me and others in the past. It's not like he's some egotistical jerk who's above crediting smaller creators. For instance, Toastify made a video on Roka as Platoon Predator, and in response to Toastify's video, Roka made an apology stream, of which I re-uploaded at the time. In a follow-up video, Toastify...
Yeah, him not crediting you, if he had actually... I don't even know if Toastify had obtained the screenshots himself. He employs researchers and editors. So I don't know who was responsible, but him not crediting you would be based, and it's not an excuse, by the way, like, but it's more understandable. Him not crediting you would be based on his knowledge of what you have done, versus in the past where he didn't have knowledge of it, and he's totally, so his issue is not that he's like, he doesn't have the pathology of a plagiarist. His issue is like wanting to avoid any form of association with you. But yes, if you're sourcing that much info from his video, you're gonna have to credit him whether you like him or not, and you can credit him in a way that lets people know he's a horrible person.
I went on to credit me twice for both my re-upload and the screenshot I provided in my own video on Roka.
That's my point.
Especially when some
plagiarism is plagiarism. It doesn't matter who you're doing it to, and it is something that is worthy of critique. Do I think in this instance it's a super big deal? Probably not, but it's still something that's worthy of critique. Just because the person you're doing it to happens to be a horrible person, that's irrelevant. You're still utilizing that, or you're still guilty of that tactic, which is something that should be, you know, discouraged within this community.
People came forward talking about how Fireoka had treated them. Fireoka's immediate response to this was an emergency stream where he just tried apologizing for everything that happened, and it lasted around 10 minutes. But on October 2nd, Fireoka's channel was terminated for violating YouTube's community guidelines. Hooray! It's unclear what happened to him. Some of my most reliable sources have told me that he actually got hacked by a Bitcoin scam, and YouTube terminated him because of that, and he's probably not going to get his channel reinstated at all because he's only got like 10k subscribers.
He has no issue crediting ZV previously. Why now? Because knowledge has come about of like who ZV hangs with, and what happens to you through association with him. That's still, though, it's still plagiarism, regardless of if ZV is a good person or not. It made Parry rage. Well, Parry's just being overly dramatic and is like for some reason sympathetic to ZV. If you Google the guy the video's on, can we find screenshots? We'll have to test that or check that out. I mean, if someone can show that these screenshots are actually like very easily accessible, then it would make it worse, obviously. Then it would be worse. What did ZV do now? Well, he's accusing Toastify of plagiarizing because in a new video, Toastify didn't credit him for screenshots of other people's tweets that were clearly derived either by Toastify's editor, researcher, or himself from like his video ZV made from 3 years ago. That's the criticism here. And although I agree, yeah, like technically there should have been crediting done. It's like I'm a bit more sympathetic in this instance as to why ZV wasn't credited. It's still not good to plagiarize at all, but yeah.
Reach and pull,
With this in mind, it just confuses me why you...
No, I don't think this is like worthy of cancellation. It's a very different... It's a very, like, it differs from like other cases of plagiarism you'd see in the sense of like the motivations, its impediment to somebody's moral character, etc. It differs to an extent where it's like, just don't do it again. That's what I just say, don't do it again. And if you have to do it, where you have to source somebody who you really don't like for very valid reasons and wouldn't want to associate with for very valid reasons, if you're deriving if you're deriving material from them as a source, you can invoke or mention or credit their name without doing so in a positive light.
Credited me for a screenshot and a re-upload 3 years ago, but now it's just too much of a hassle. I don't like you, so I'll just take your research. I know you don't like me, Toastify, and that's perfectly fine. But if you just like...
Also, ZV has to maintain the persona of like he's just like the victim being treated poorly on his channel, so he's not going to mention why he's disliked.
To such a degree, credit is off the table. Why take the receipts from my videos? Why didn't you just go look for them? Why didn't you DM the people yourself? What makes this even worse is you could have just asked me. You used to have me added on Discord. You know what my tag is. If you simply asked, I would have agreed.
You know why he's not going to talk to you and won't associate with you. Explain. This is very relevant detail. You're technically correct in the sense of, yes, deriving that much material from your video, he should have credited you, but explain why he doesn't want to even merely mention your name, nevertheless hit you up directly, okay? Admit the group that you actively have ties to.
Even without the credit. It's the fact that they were blatantly ripped from my video, which is ridiculous to me. It's convenient to get points, because one of the screenshots has my own handwriting on it. It's so obvious. Like, it just mind boggles me that he could have simply just DM'd me and asked me for the receipts, even though it's been like 3 years.
He knows why he won't do that.
I still have them. He could have just asked me. Instead of going to my video and just lifting them from there, he could have just asked me. He knows what my tag is. I'm not someone who's shy when it comes to crediting others. I credit art I use on my thumbnails. I credit other creators when I reference their videos, and I especially apply credit when I use footage.
There needs to be just like a good video on Via Key, because he's able to maintain this like lie by omission to his audience. He always leaves out the crucial context about his associations with UTTP, and he paints himself in like a reasonable, moderate, sometimes victim sort of light. You know, if you're mentioning his dislike of you, I feel like it's relevant context to say why. Why would you omit it unless it looks bad for you? Which it does, okay? It does.
Isn't mine. Regardless of whether or not I personally like them. Personal feelings shouldn't come in the way of professional.
Ace, ZV's admission has no business being on some hidden, unlisted fucking VOD. Make a video on the guy. Make a Via Key video.
But yeah, that's all for me. I just think it's disingenuous to take receipts from a significantly small creator.
Everyone is too scared to make a video on him. If everybody makes videos on him, I mean, he can't stop all of us, right?
credit and refuse to give them even a lick of credit. I don't care if you dislike me. Giving credit is doing the bare minimum. If you can't do that, don't make the video at all. Oh, that came off a bit harsh. Wow, that came off a bit harsh. Thank you to my channel members. I didn't want to end the video on like a really harsh note like that.
Because the thing about ZV, what is he bound by? He's bound by maintaining a fake and false persona on his main channel. If you make videos about him that get enough attention, where it starts, like, his fans start to see this and understand what type of person this is, he's not going to be able to utilize his normal tactics, because then if the video maker ends up getting harassed and doxxed or whatever by members of UTTP, that's going to further hurt ZV's image amongst his own community that he's tried to maintain a positive image amongst. The reason he's okay with employing these tactics now is because these are associations that are separate from his main channel, and more in like the commentary sphere. So he knows it's going to have minimal effect on the persona he tries to upkeep on his channel. Aiden asking someone to be a martyr? I mean, if you want to make the video, use an AI voice. I'll let you put it on my channel. Scared of a little okay, so once again, Cal is sweeping for people who engage in inappropriate behavior with or relating to minors. You know, he acts like it's a little Discord raid. No, it's like the involvement of people who actively have a history of spamming child porn, which is something that would reasonably cause concern. But for some reason, Cal really likes to defend that. I don't know exactly why. He likes to use minimization to make it seem less severe than it actually is, which is what he did in the case of Marcus having minors in his server, which Cal defended. He has a history of doing this. Anyways, that never happened. I have footage. I have footage. Leave Kalora Vetla, I need in chat. Kalora Vetla, leave the kids alone. Leave the kids alone. This is a terrible look. A terrible look for you. You're describing people spamming CP as, oh, it's just a little Discord raid, actively minimizing the tactics utilized by UTTP. It's a horrible look for you. Anyways, Kalora Vetla be like, it's just a little CSAM, man. What are you so scared of, you wuss? I look at that shit all the time. That's you, Cal. That's what you sound like. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, the dead horse he's not even dead anymore. He has, it is the dead and then decomposed and then like skeletal remains of a horse that have, you know, been dug up to make a Costco. So the bones were then thrown into a river, where they ended up on some riverbank, and we're now taking the bones of the dead horse and hitting them with a hammer to turn them into dust. That's what it is at this point. That's the Bowblax situation in a nutshell. But Bobby is back. Longtime disgraced member of the commentary community. Which, honestly, I don't care if you're disgraced by the commentary community. Bowblax has just had this, like, history of lying and being manipulative, and not being able to, like, make concessions or take proper accountability, and being incredibly egocentric. He believes that when he does something bad, that because he's sympathetic to himself, he believes that those factors that make him sympathetic to himself should make other people sympathetic to him, and they should see it his way, and if they don't, they're bad people that he loses his shit on because he's like a fucking child. He's a child even in the sense of his lifestyle, as in like he's still playing dress up, moved back in with mommy and daddy, couldn't handle the real world, couldn't handle holding a job. Just like a completely pathetic human being, to the point where I felt quite bad for the guy. Even though it was by his own hand, at some point, when you've leaked photos, when photos of your penis are now online, you've lost your fucking house, you've had to sell the car that you were flexing on people with, you've lost all of your friends, because you only have friends online, you know, you're active, there's, I guess, an active court case over your home, you have to move back in with your parents, who you don't like, etc., etc., you know, at some point, it's like, okay, the horse is more than dead. But then, Bowblax decided to call me stupid. No context, this is what they love to do. It's the I don't like thing crowd. Okay, the I don't like thing community. They will tell you they don't like something, and then just never explain why. This is what people love to do to me. Okay, for some reason, it's just like, I don't like Aiden, and I'm assuming everyone else doesn't like him, so I'm just going to say I don't like him and never provide any sort of reasoning. So people just feel comfortable, also, it's so narcissistic to tell me that you don't like me, as if I'm supposed to, like, do something with that or care about what you do like and don't like for no... If you say, I don't like you because, then I care. Then I'll listen to you. Okay? I love criticism. But if it's just like I hate... You're retarded, Aiden. I hate... And then no elaboration, it's annoying. It's just, honestly, it's, like, annoying. It's like, I don't really care that you have, like, these beliefs that have no basis or substantiation behind them, and that's supposed to be my problem? It isn't. But when you then go and you call me stupid, okay, you've taken things to a level that puts you, in my opinion, in the status of a small subset of people who are not just very unself-aware, they have no self-awareness, zero self-awareness. When you're a person whose penis, you uploaded your penis to the internet, despite having a notable commentary presence, and thinking you weren't going to get made fun of for that, and the only reason everyone knows about it is because you were too fucking stupid to log out of your porn email while you were streaming on another email, okay? As if, like, the original act of doing that wasn't stupid enough. And like, you're so fucking dumb that you found yourself where Bowblax is. To call me stupid? It's unsubstantiated disrespect, okay? And it's coming from the culprit. It's total projection. And I'm willing to stand by that in the sense of, I got Salvo Pancakes to agree to host a general knowledge trivia tournament between me and Bowblax, where I was going to put in money, Salvo was going to put in money, someone else agreed to put in money, and if I won, I'd get the money other people put in, and if I lost, my money and the money would go to Bowblax, he wouldn't lose anything. I wouldn't expect him to put in any money. So there is no financial risk to him for his participation, and it should be an easy win if I'm so stupid. But what does Josh do? He runs. I'm so stupid. That's not even worth making a free $500. I hate him. Simultaneously, I think, like, Teorio constantly addressing him as, like, a serious person is also, like, very fucking cringe. I mean, I'm like 100 viewers shitter. Like, when you're like a 5,000 viewer Andy, at some point, like, dude, why do you, like, seriously care about this anymore? I guess because it's kind of funny. Why do you hate him? I hate him because he lies. I hate him because he has no self-awareness. And I hate him because he manages to, like, play victim despite totally being fine He's like, people have always never understood me, you know, disregarded what I had to say. But he was like actively, when the crowd was doing that to me, not only did he have no problem with it, many times he was an active participant. And I wouldn't care if he was smarter than me, if he was superior to me, which I know he isn't. Okay, which I know he isn't. And I'm sympathetic to that. I'm sympathetic to that. But when you're the one, he's the one taking shots. Why is Nick covering Bobby? That's a little gay commentary drum. I thought he doesn't cover that. It's like the safe targets, I guess. I'm okay. Like, I've demonstrated I'm okay with not sticking to. I do cover people that are safe targets, but not because they're safe, but because I think their situations are like interesting or funny enough on their own. Obviously, my whole like villain monologue bit is like, you know, take that half seriously, right? But I think that like if you're seriously at this point engaging with Bowblax, like, and not just using him for content, yeah, it's like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Bobby's never gonna change. He's funny to laugh at. Nobody believes him. It's like there's nothing to fight against anymore. Just sit, point, and laugh, which is what I plan on doing. No, I've shown my other email on stream, but it was nothing like seeing my other email. It wasn't like risky. It's not like I have some secret porn account tied to that email. Because not only would I never... Listen, folks, do me a favor. Never, ever, ever get your nudes in digital form. That means don't send them to people. Don't post pornography. All you're doing is creating unnecessary leverage over yourself. And I promise that whatever potential financial benefit you're going to derive from that temporarily, in the long run, you'll never find it worth it. So, the only people that should see you naked are your doctor and the partners standing directly in front of you. $5 from Master Bricks. You are the dumbest person in the world, by the way. Listen, if Bobby doesn't want to step up to the ring, I will do a trivia tournament against my own viewers. What about what about my parents? Wait, are you talking about getting... It's okay for them to see... No! If you're an adult that still is okay getting naked in front of your fucking parents, you have a problem, dude. You have a fucking problem. Yeah, it was okay for my parents to see me naked when I was like a fucking baby, sure. Pull up Liam's... Why does everybody keep talking about lyrics? I'll do that in a sec after we do this Bowblax shit. By the way, folks, we're over halfway to Streamly Gold. I think we're more than that. Hold on. Let me check. We're over halfway to Streamly Goal. If we hit Streamly Goal, I will let out an audible yippee. If you can't donate, you can donate through Super Chat, Streamlabs. If you can't, that's fine. Another great way to support the streams is to like up, interact. Engagement helps, you know, streams, videos do well. Join the Discord server and join our Minecraft server. Start a city or community or a settlement. Do it away from spawn, by the way. Go far away from spawn. ag4l.mc.gg. Hold on. His girlfriend... What? Wait, I don't believe you because you didn't call her by name. Wait, whose stream? On Lyrix's stream? Oh, I looked up lyrics. It's Liam. Oh no, dude, you guys are in for a shock.
Let's get right into it.
Oh my god! Dude, no way! You now know what I've known for months. You now know what I have known for
Death
months.
by Hammer. We're doing it the same way I did.
Dude,
Death by Hammer.
it's
annoying,
Kai.
Bader. Slight average normal person maybe, and cool.
What?
Okay, that's a little. I don't like these tiers. It's a little harsh.
Oh my
Bro,
god.
yeah. Dude, what the fuck? Dude.
What do they call this? Who Megal?
What?
Okay, I don't
But
know
you
the Twitch. Don't know who this is.
Why
We
is
can do
it
that.
not?
Or like if I just don't have an opinion because I don't really like. I don't know.
Okay, who are you? Segment. Boom. Okay,
Wait, my face is
there we go.
blocking
Big
it.
stuff. All right, we're
You
starting.
know how to like move it around, right?
Is that how you do it? Is
Oh my
that-
god! Wait, what the heck? What? Oh my god! Wait, it's on this side, right?
No, it's good. It's
or
good.
what?
We got it like this. Okay, Eggy. What do you think about Eggy? They donate like J-pop, J-rock from time to time.
I don't really stay so much for the submissions, but I think they're like
Fake.
normal person.
The
You have to say
normal person.
or cool. No,
Dude, I feel bad for Tom's probably moved on. But, dude, Loam actually won. This is confirmation. But Loam actually won, dude.
cool. They're cool. I think they're a mod, right?
Yeah, I think so. Eggy's cool. Eggy's kind
I
of cool.
think they're cool.
They do fan art. Okay, Grayson P. What do you think? Do you know Grayson P?
Annoying.
Some people that are just attracted to people that look like them. I've noticed this. Okay. I think my preference in women is sometimes okay, that's weird, but you know, I only like typically like you know, brown hair, black hair, brown eyes, or very dark eyes.
Annoying.
Wait,
Wait, no, wait.
Whoa.
Does he have good submissions or bad ones?
What is okay, he sends in like the more local band guys.
Oh, those ones always hurt my ears. Okay. He can go in.
Every cafe saying yes. He's
He
celebrating.
can go in Bader. I don't like these tiers. They're not accurate to my feelings.
Okay, do you want me to adjust? We could adjust them. We can adjust some of them.
I feel like Bader doesn't need to be there.
We should get rid of that one?
Yeah.
Dude.
And then just
Okay.
change slight average just normal.
She looks exactly the same from when I last remember her. I haven't spoken to her in years, but she has not really changed at all in terms of like
We're in
her.
all caps.
She looks exactly this. I don't know what you're talking about. She looks the same as she did back then.
Person.
Just like this? You want it like this? Is this good? Death by Hammer, annoying, normal
Wait,
person.
this isn't actually Kai?
Cool, who are you?
Oh no, it is her. I was like, her eyes are the same color. What I remember about her is she had this like weird. It's actually really cool, but she had like it was like the obviously not David Bowie has multicolored eyes because his pupil was like permanently dilated after getting punched really hard in the face. But it's heterochromia, right? She has heterochromia where she has, I think it's like one blue eye, one brown eye.
Stay, but like the middle one, I don't know. You could.
5 from G's. I can't watch the stream because my Blue Jays are in the World Series, but happy Friday, Aiden. Thank you so much, G's.
Just say normal person. It's a little.
Oh my gosh.
Mean.
Okay, here we go.
You have to be a subscriber of 36 hours or longer to send messages. Dude, Ali Khan got a reference?
Grayson P. Well, he's not normal. So.
True.
Okay, maybe we did need Bader.
Wait, that's
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, that's why there's just so many casual baiters.
That's true.
They can't be normal people.
I think there does need to be one in between.
Notice how she's nicer than Liam, guys.
Is it nicer?
You don't even understand.
Fine, normal.
It's all.
I sent him a DM. Someone tell him to check DMs.
A mask.
No, wait, no. There. Okay, I'm sorry. Can you bring the Vader tier back?
Okay, here, we'll get that back. All right, let's see.
I'm sorry.
No, Tom does not need all the support in the world right now. I'm not. I obviously I can't, elaborate for the sake of his privacy, but he seems also to be in a happy situation.
Ad row below. Bader in all caps. Let's get this. Okay. No, we need that in all caps. Okay.
How many?
Why is this guy slandering his girlfriend?
He only gets 189 concurrent.
How'd you slander me?
Okay,
Grayson P can go into Vader.
Okay, there we go.
Gabriel Lee.
Am I here?
That's a sleep token guy of his wife.
I do find it very moving, but I don't know if he's cool. He can go a normal person.
Wow.
And so Pink Circle can too.
We're not doing that, man. We're not doing a mansplaining count.
How do you touch it?
We got Ali Khan here. Is Chase been in my chat? This Miart person? I feel like he's been around too. Who else got the mention? Dude, Orange Whistling Cat made it onto the stream.
This is not. That ruined the bit.
No, it works out good. Okay, so
how do you do that?
Is Quinn a normal person? It's just an OBS.
Is this the girl whose face you've been blurring on Instagram? Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
So
sure.
they can go in Bader. And then Grandma.
I've known about this for months. I kept this a well-guarded secret. Okay, I've kept this a well-guarded secret. For those who say Aiden leaks I don't leak.
Can of course go in Cool. She's awesome.
Grandma's cool.
Brainworms. My voice just cracked. Cool? I think they're cool, right? And so is Anonymous.
Anonymous is cool. Anonymous is cool.
Death by Hammer.
I mean, she's not bad looking. She's not my type, like, at all. Short, fucking straight hair. Just not, I don't know. Everyone has preferences. Just not for me. I can acknowledge someone is, like, decent looking without having personal interests. Anyways, let me know if I get mentioned on there. Who is your type? Who? I'm not gonna share that with you, you fucking freak. Alright. Well. Anyways. Let's take a look at this Bowblax. The recent Bowblax, the Bowblaxian discourse that has occurred recently. Okay, let's stop, okay? I don't have a fucking race fetish. Alright. Top 10 video games to get to know me. I'd love to meet the person out there that is like, I really want to get to know Bowblax. I'd love to meet the guy out there who this was made for. Hint, it isn't made for anyone. So, we've gotten this. Interesting. Who is he tweeting for at this point? Like, I don't understand. Holy fucking retweets, bro. 2 months ago on stream, I gave my thoughts on Nick Diorio in more depth. So I decided to clip it as my one and only video on him, so that everybody knows where I stand with all of this, and I won't have to repeat myself on Twitter endlessly, lol. So we'll check that video out in a sec. One comment under his own tweet, and it's his own comment. Well, yeah, most people are going to prefer to leave comments on the YouTube video itself. Holy cope, dude. Admit you have no fan base. Nobody's here for your personality. There is no Bowblax fan base. There's no Bowblax community. Nicholas non-binary Diorio A-logging Bowblax while having him blocked might be the gayest thing I have ever heard of. This is why all my tweets replying to him in the past 14 months had to be screenshots of him. I'd much rather reply or quote retweet. Nobody, okay? You should change your name to... Zoomer Retard said, you should change your name... His name is Stalker Child 88. You should change your name to Blows F Slurs. I mean, it wouldn't be an inaccurate username. Who is this for? Who is this for? Why are you playing into this? I can't directly reply because Nick has me blocked on all my Twitter accounts, but here, I also hung out with a lot of creators at these gatherings that some people banned me from, and we had a good time. So I was doing a little investigative journalism at VidCon. Here's what happened. You had this group of non-commentary people consisting of this guy called Jabroni, I guess. He's pretty cool. Him and Bowblax had been friends in the years prior. Oki's Weird Videos, who I've been fine with. Ghost Gum, if I remember correct. I think it was Ghost Gum, right? And I think there was someone else. They took Bowblax under their wing because they felt bad. He was coming regardless, and they took him under their wing because they felt bad. They tried to show up to several people's houses saying, yeah, and they're like, who are you coming with? And they're saying, yeah, it's going to be one of these people I'm friends with who's running the house. And this person is non-commentary, but he knows about Bowblax. And they said, yeah, it's going to be us, like me, Jabroni, Oki, and Bowblax. And here's Bowblax. He's like, yeah, I think we're good, man. I think we're good. So Bobby doesn't, the person who was hosting is not friends with Diorio at all. Diorio didn't have any influence on this. But then I think, like, there was, like, the Rager hosted by Tom, and he wasn't allowed to come so it wouldn't be awkward. His group, the people that had taken him in out of sympathy, weren't able to go anywhere with him. So at some point, they just ditched him, and he just, like, wandered the convention center, apparently complaining about random people to Diorio. It was really sad. At one point, Plain Rock, who will hang out with anyone, like, had dinner with him. And he's like, yeah, it was, like, a little weird or whatever. But this group, at some point, just was abandoning him so they could actually go places. And I think this was the same group of people that confronted Diorio at Tom's Rager, which I couldn't get into because I wasn't 21. Supposedly, even though I have a list of names of people my own age that were allegedly there, but I was barred from this event. So I can defend Diorio on that one. I don't think Diorio was purposely was the one even getting him, like, not allowed to be invited to various houses. It was just in general. People thought it would be awkward, which it would be, and were, you know, by proxy that not hanging out with them. Because yeah, it's like you're in debt. Your subs have fled. You've lost all your friends. Why are you coming to California? Why are you coming to California? What is, like, the only people that were coming up and talking to him were people that felt bad for him or were dunking on him and he didn't even realize it. The rest of it, okay. Diorio says, no one barred entrance to VidCon parties because I hate videos. I can't entirely, no. People just know the facts of the situation. I was even recounting it to several, because I'm friends with a lot of non-commentary people. I was even recounting the story to people in private. And they had already known many details of it. It's like, no, you're just, like, a really awkward person that is, like, done really gross, like, embarrassing stuff. Has zero self-awareness. Has actively lied. and changed up the story is clearly very unwell mentally, nobody's gonna want you around. No one barred you entrance to VidCon parties because I hate videos. I can't entirely speak for people who made these decisions, but I can because I spoke to them. But as someone who never once asked for you to be banned, they probably just didn't want to hang out with the crazy, manic, looping crybaby. I can, I have no problem to say Diorio's lying about. He's not. He's not. This is just true. This is just true. He did not have an influence on getting Bowblax barred from certain places. At least not a direct one. If it was the case that, like, some people might have watched the hate videos, and that is what led them to do it, maybe. But he does this cope of like, oh, they only don't like me because of Diorio's retelling of the situation itself, not because the situation itself demonstrates that I'm a clear fucking liar. We've been trying to tell you, man, Diorio never wanted you anywhere. No, I don't think that's true. I don't think, at least at the time, I don't think that's true. Because he did genuinely, like, feel bad about it, and ended up staying at Tom's place later because I showed up, even though he was gonna go home. Diorio's been outside, like, he's been good to me, in the sense of, like, he hasn't treated me like shit, up until, my only gripe is, well, I have gripes with his content, his coverage, obviously, the way he engages, but these are not, like, bridge-burning things. My only gripe was that I feel like I was unfairly afforded, like, zero charitability over an understandable mistake, and that did, like, kind of feel like a betrayal or whatever, but I'm not, like, I don't hate the guy. Yeah, I'll poke fun at him like I do anybody else, and I have criticisms of him. But I don't, he was, like, in the time we were actually friends, he was actually, like, he was quite, nice to me behind the scenes. My voice, this isn't like an emotional thing. This isn't like online friend. I'm just thinking about it. That's not like emotional. I've had friends die, bro. This is not like, this is not even close to the top 10 I've been fucked over moments. Not even fucking close, dude. Trust me, buddy. If I was to ever cry, and I don't cry, but if I was to ever cry about anything, it wouldn't be this. Dude, when I was 11 or 12, I wrote a love note to a girl, and she read it out to her fucking friends to make fun of me. And I got made fun of for it. And I put my heart and soul into that, man. I put my heart and soul into that. On another occasion, when I was in elementary school, this, like, group of people, essentially, they pretended to be my friends and just, like, kept me around to essentially walk all over me and, like, beat the ever-living fuck out of me. I've had way worse instances of, where I feel like I've been fucked over. This doesn't even come close. Okay, now you're just sympathy. You understand that, like, most people in this chat are gonna have comparable experiences. It's not exceptional. It's not meant to invoke sympathy. Because I think that as a result of it, I ended up, like, stronger as a person. But it's not every time you mention a bad thing that's happened to you is it sympathy baiting. This is like Tommy C logic, where Chud mentions his dad died, and Tommy C's like, boo-hoo, or whatever, like, as if he's trying to invoke sympathy. The rest of this thread is really dumb and purposefully ignorant, saying I had no original thought when years of content proves otherwise. One example is that I literally broke the story of CC2 paying fighters over charity before the event even happened. I also was never pretending, lol. If only Aiden... What the fuck are you talking about? If only I had a spine. If only I had a spine. If only I had a spine. Yeah, dude, I'm famously non-confrontational. I famously don't stand by beliefs I have. To put it bluntly, this is the problem with coasting off of other people's opinions for years and not sharing any original thought. It will come as a shock to many when you out yourself as being wildly unintelligent the minute you actually open your mouth. True, I agree. I agree. I don't like giving Bowblax any out by virtue of like this side of the community's hate against Dioria. Two things can be true. Okay, two things can be true. But I think it's cringe to engage with Bowblax seriously. But I do think so he can't like spin this fake narrative in his own head. He did lie. He is not a smart person, and he needs to know that because people who are not smart that think they are just humiliate themselves constantly. And it's unfortunate that he was put in an adult position and treated as though he were an adult, when really, I mean, bless his heart, he just is not at that level of intellectual functioning. You flip-flopped on Bowblax a lot. That's not being spineless, okay? That's actually, if any, constantly reassessing your positions and being willing to change when you realize that your position on something isn't congruent with your values, is actually, that is like, actually like the definition or of like metaphorically having a spine. You know, you're willing to admit you're wrong and reassess your own values to make sure that you're being consistent. I do constant introspection over opinions I have on people, things, whatever, which everyone does, and that sometimes leads me to change my conclusion. But then new things come about. When new information occurs, you can have a spine and still not be rigid or stubborn. If new information comes about, or you've had, like, you've logically reassessed or an opinion you've held, and you change it as a result of that, that is not contradictory with having a spine. The rest of the thread is really dumb and purposefully ignorant, saying I had no original thought when years of content proves otherwise. One example is that I literally broke the story of CC2 paying fighters over charity before the event even happened. Well, no, you're good at being a reporter. No, you're not good at being a reporter, because good reporters understand that they're reporters. You relaying the objective information without inserting yourself because nobody wants you in the video, they want the information, you're fine with that. But not anymore, because you've now, like, for some reason, have stopped doing that. You want to insert yourself, which is not what anyone wants. Spineless, bad hair, cabal outcast, streamer, woman trust me, buddy. I'm not woman repellent. It's just the bitches repel me. Well, my ring fell off. In reference to his last tweet, this whole narrative that I'm trying to blame all of my problems on Nick is really stupid. Yes, I've complained about him a bit, but no more or less than anyone else. Well, the difference is, you've actually, like, reformatted situations where you've actually been the person to do something wrong, as, like, oh, people only feel this way. Bowblax can't understand why other people reach a conclusion that isn't identical to his. He believes because he feels a certain way, it's like people must be like malicious or misled if they're not coming to the same conclusion. You're always going to be more sympathetic to yourself because you have more of an understanding of yourself. You're in your own head. You know why you think what you think. You know past experiences that may be influencing you. You know what your intentions were at the time, and you have a natural instinct of self-preservation. So you're going to be more sympathetic to yourself with the facts presented, which he is. But then when other people don't reach that same level of sympathy that he has for himself, he thinks there's something wrong. No, that's life. That's how opinions are formulated. Bowblax lacks theory of mind. It's not his fault, to be clear. What is his fault is knowingly lying. I'm sorry, Aiden. I'm gonna spread more your shit. You're fucking with me, but I appreciate the consideration. $5 from Cats of Flockin. By sharing his AGP pics around to your friends, you essentially did the same thing the Love Note girl did to you. How does it feel to be the betrayer? I'm not the betrayer because he never sent them to me. He literally never sent them to me. If it was the case, if he chose to get vulnerable with me and I then betrayed him, that would be like, okay, then there's a comparison to be made. But though he never sent those pictures to me. Also, all things considered, that photo is actually like less bad than what we probably like. It's essentially the same thing as all the photos he willingly and publicly posts of himself. I didn't betray him, but okay, so you've just like made something up to then like do like a reductionist reinterpretation of to mock, except your reductionism is like completely unapplicable to anything I've just said. And like in fact, like I'm actually like curious if you're deaf or some shit. Betrayal is when you go and violate trust that somebody has put into you, that you know has been put into you, and you choose to violate it anyway. That would be like a betrayal, especially when it's like unjustified. That would be betrayal. The thing is, he never trusted me with that. He never sent it to me. So I don't know how you, like, got that reductionist version of it. Also, side note, but tweeting to me behind multiple blocks is a deliberate tactic used to prevent any response from me to get viewed by the audience he's tweeting to unless he can control it with his own tweet by including my reply with a screen. Okay, what is he omitted? He literally presents all of your arguments in his own tweet. He has you blocked because he blocks everyone. And also, I got offered upwards of like $2,000 to leak that photo to the public. And notice how even though I don't think that the photo is like that different from anything that he's posted like willingly of himself, I still have not leaked that photo. It's been a year and I still haven't leaked it, even though it would be very beneficial to myself to go and do that. You're rich? No, I'm not so rich where $2,000 wouldn't be a lot of fucking money to me. That's like a month's worth of rent. California moment, by the way. My other gripe with Bowblax is, you know, I'd have issue with the level people were going at him if he wasn't like an active participant in joining the bandwagon when it's against other people. He has no gripes with the like things he pretends to have a gripe with, he actually has no problems with. He only has a problem with it when he's at the receiving end. He has no problem joining the dog pile on Tipster. He has no problem joining any dog pile that the fucking RFC retards were on back in the day. But now that he's at the receiving end, now he invokes this like sense of morality. You drew it? Really? Really? Aiden, you just clicked on your mouse. You want to just like narrate my life? Just like explain that. Just like tell me what I've done. Like, because for some reason I need to remember. I know exactly what I did. If you have an argument with that point, then present it. But merely stating that I did the thing that I did is not an argument. Anyways, we're less than 30 away from Streamly goal. If we hit it, I will be very happy. Also, engage, like up, all that good shit. You want to prove you can build channels, team up with him and revive it? He doesn't need me to revive his channel, okay? He does not need me to revive his channel. It's not merely the format of his videos that work for him so well, but okay. Is that a bow? Or a butterfly? Got it. So, it's not merely the Twitter versus format that works so well, but it's also what you have to do is talk about things that would be interesting to the wider drama and tea audience as they are actively happening. Things that might be confusing, seeing scattered posts about it on Twitter, and you just want one place to summarize it all. You're fulfilling the function that your content has been very good at previously fulfilling. So when you go and do Twitter versus gaming videos, that's not really appealing to the audience that watches you and why they watch you. This is, you understand your audience. It's the drama/tea community. So like Twitter versus Dan Clancy would be a good one. Like a few days ago. He's obviously too late on that. But like Mario Kart World, I get that that's your personal interest, but that's not like the interest of the wider like tea sphere. So you're not like appealing to not just the audience that does watch you, but the potential audience that will watch you, right? He does do Twitter versus Creator Clash 3, but that's not really going to be all that interesting. Like, I would never greenlight a video like that. I just don't see that appealing to, like, especially that his channel's already, like, going to be, you know, at a deficit, or at a, like, it's going to be impeded algorithmically because of, like, the amount of people unsubbing, his low view count, etc. I would never advise a video like that. I would advise a video that we're sure is going to do well. That would be, like, had he done, like, Twitter versus Dan Clancy during the TwitchCon event or whatever, that would have done well. I'm sure of it. So, but you can understand he's not a person, he has this benefit of, in the sense, people watch these videos, for the topics he's covering and the function that it serves. They're not watching for him. They're not watching for his personality. And although that may not be as fun, or that might not, like, stroke your ego as much, it is beneficial to the extent of a channel death isn't going to be as detrimental or, like, devastating to you, because you can just revive it by covering another topic. So you see this in, like, nobody cares about his opinions about a murder or politics. Other videos, he's just outright dropping the format that works very well for getting these videos views within the drama sphere. But, like, he's not really covering, like, YouTubers or influencers as much. And when he does not use, like, the format that has worked so well for him. But what you see is, where is it? Hold on. There was a good example of this. So, Carl Jobst, it's a great situation to learn about for normies. I don't know anything involving that situation. I don't know. You know, it's so convoluted. It's years of lawsuits, understanding who Billy Mitchell is, etc. And now it's getting attention following the results of the lawsuit. I'm a normie that wants to learn more about it because I'm interested in YouTuber drama. I want to figure out more about it. It's going to be very useful to in a convoluted drama involving specific influencers, having all the information in aggregation in one concise video is going to be very useful. And that's why this got 40,000 views. It's a relevant, active drama where the information is heavily scattered, that a video putting all the information together is going to serve utility. But he doesn't really do that again. He does Twitter versus situations as opposed to like individual influencers. He does gaming videos that nobody cares about. He outright drops the Twitter versus tag for various videos. Like this one also did well as like a very relevant drama to YouTube drama is ongoing. If he just like understood why these two videos did well and these didn't, he could easily revive this channel. Yo, thank you so much, Willie M, for the $2. Bowblax was never happier than doing bully streams. True, that's true. Look at inbox. No. Shout out, by the way, to Navakva for clip, can I change the... It's fine, okay?
Yes.
It might be very... I think this is the actual resolution. Hold on. It's very low res. But shout out to Navakva for clipping. Okay, shout out to Navakva for clipping. Truth nukes have been dropped, and it's not looking good for the target. I would have dropped that first line, by the way. I would have just done... still great. You're getting it. I would have done like streamer and then streamer Aiden Underground brackets at XL. Aiden accurately deconstructs why lolcow Bowblax such an easy target. That's what I would have done. But you've gotten it pretty much figured out. It's a nitpick. But regardless, thank you so much for clipping. Brevity is also important. For your captions, you have to like assume that the average person is not going to read beyond the first line. Anyways, we can go and check out this. Dude, I'm like actually, hold on. I'm so fucked right now because the fucking Trump administration seized the geek bars, okay? First they came for my YouTube mods. They came for the illegal immigrants. And I said nothing because I wasn't an illegal immigrant. Then they came for the non-binary teachers, and I said nothing because I was not a non-binary teacher. Okay. Then they came for pregnant women. Then they came for gays. Then they came for alleged Venezuelan drug boats. Then they came for Iran. Then they came for low-income people on social benefits. Then they came for the government. Then they came for the East Wing of the White House. And I said nothing. But now they have seized geek bars coming in from China at the port. You can't find them anywhere. I've called all my connects. They're freaking out, dude. They're freaking out because the geek bars are gone. So all I have left is this last memory of what could have been. So then I tried to, instead of doing a disposable, I got like an actual proper vape and bought some juice for it or whatever. And it's like, I guess maybe I'm just like really used to the sweetness of like the disposables, but like the taste sucks. Like zero flavor to this. We smoke for nicotine, not flavor. I do it for both. All right, folks. What should we do now? Get a giant box mod. I barely figured out. I'm like, what's an atomizer? This just looks like super complicated. I'm not ready for okay, I'll play the clip in inbox. Jimmy coming at. This is how you title. It's short, it's sweet, it summarizes it. This is the kind of shit we love to see. If you're looking for a job, Jimmy, I'll pay you as my resident clipper. This is what we love to see. Jimmy is the god of the clipping. The god of the clipping. All right, well, check out this Bowblax, this Bowblax Dioria video, and play some Minecraft. This is not the clip I wanted you to play. What did you want me to play? Oh, this? Well, it's gonna be total non-tent.
Easy, because it's always the same shit. It's like,
help me, I've been left alone in this forest, and my husband, he was trying to kill me, and help me, my husband, he was trying to kill me, and I had to run into the forest to get away, and I got find my way back.
All right.
Way back.
Okay.
my Jeff is easy, because it's always the same shit.
Okay. All right. He won. He won. That was a good clip. That was a rare, good Queeman clip. You could actually argue he wasn't even making fun of her. That was like a very good impression. Is there like a protest happening outside? Did you see my... Oh, yeah, sorry. Thank you. I'm saving that one for tomorrow, so we have content for tomorrow. But thank you so much, Blurg. Thank you so much, buddy. Hold on, give me... There's something fucking going on outside. Give me 2 seconds. You know what? I'm also going to quickly make a cup of coffee. I'm going to make a cup of coffee real quick so we can keep going here. Give me like 2 seconds, all right? You could time it. You could time it, okay? 2 seconds. By the way, folks, we're so close to streaming. We haven't hit it in a while. If we hit it this stream, we'll be best friends. Best friends. Where is it, dude? All right. Oh yeah, the fence stream where I was just like totally out of my mind. I'll leave you with that real quick. Hold up. Dude, I don't know what I was on this stream. I was just like I was like at like a critical point of like self-awareness where it was just all so absurd to me. I couldn't stop laughing. All right. Apparently, is this really what we're working with, man? Apparently, for our first topic, apparently, Ryan's toy reviews exposing his parents. Kill him, just kill me. Just shoot me, please. Just fucking shoot me. Ryan's toy reviews exposing his parents. I can't take it. I can't take it anymore.
Ryan Kudji's parents didn't just fumble the bag. They lit it on fire, served it as a...
This is what I'm covering? Are we serious, right? Like, are we like actually serious?
...dish and then asked for a second. We're talking about Shion and Luan Kudji, the masterminds behind Ryan's world, who turned their toddler into a walking ATM and are now watching their empire crumble faster than a house of cards in a hurry.
I can't. Honestly, what are we doing here, man? I thought, like, dude, by 20, I'm gonna be huge, dude. By 20, I'm gonna make it in the pictures. I'm gonna be famous. I'm gonna be notable. I'm gonna be notable, and I'm sitting here covering Ryan's toy. Dude, I feel like I'm losing my. Like, I actually feel like I'm going insane. The walls have started talking to me.
Hurricane. And honestly, it's about time. So let me paint you a picture of how we got here. Back in 2015, these two decided their 3-year-old opening toy boxes was peak entertainment. Fast forward a few years, and Ryan becomes the highest paid YouTuber on the planet, raking in over $20 million annually. Not bad for a kid who can barely tie his shoelaces, right? But
this is an insult to me. Barely? I couldn't tie my shoelaces until I was like 18, bro. I don't know why I'd admit that on stream. But I couldn't tie my fucking... Does this remind you? My parents barely knew what I was doing online, bro. I was, just kind of left to my own devices, man. Left to my own devices. I'm not special needs, bro. Fuck you. Fuck you, dude. This kid's childhood was snatched by his dumbass parents. Well, the thing is, I wonder, like, does Coogan's Law apply for the non-Hollywood entertainment mediums, right? Because, like, there are laws protecting child actors in movies. But does Ryan's toy review count as, like, a child's actor? Like, is there, like... there has to be some legal limitations to how much money his parents are allowed to take, right? I've always gotten a horrible impression of, like, children who's, like... In my case, it was, like, 2 years of my childhood that I was, like... and then my late teenage years where I was online publicly, but like there are like people who it was voluntary for me, right, on my own, and I did what I want. But like for kids whose parents are YouTubers that make them into content, it's just such like a surreal concept to me to have your entire childhood like live through the internet, and you have like I mean, a lot of these like channels are just like shit. The thing is, right, there's this pressure to keep the content good enough to keep the viewers coming, to keep the money coming for the family. So there's already like unnecessary pressure on the kid, but then there's unnecessary pressure to like do crazy shit with the. I mean, what do you have the Daddy-O5 shit where they were like pranking their kids in a manner that was just outright abusive and causing drama between their children that was just outright abusive, and they got taken off the platform or some shit. And then you have Ruby Frankie, who I knew about long before her. She basically sent her son away, and she filmed it. She filmed the process of having her son sent away, and she had one day where she was allowed to visit him. He was in what's called a wilderness program, which they send unruly kids to, and they basically they live. A lot of these programs are like the wilderness type programs, like people die there and shit, but they live like basically a pretty primitive lifestyle. And the one day that she was allowed to visit him, she filmed the whole thing. She filmed the whole thing. And then when her son came home, after essentially living in the wild against his own will, own will, she took his bed away. She made him sleep on the floor and joked like, haha, we just want you to stay in the routine of things or whatever. And I'm like, holy, what a shitty fucking human being. And then it turns out her kids are like living in like concentration camp-like conditions. I mean, there's duct tape on them. They're starving. The grown-ass man, the neighbor that called the police on her when the kids came to his house looking for food, he broke down crying in the 911 call. And it was like, I can't even imagine what that guy was looking at if the mere appearance of the child made this grown man break down crying on the call with 911. But she's like, what is she doing now? 2 decades in prison? That's obviously a more extreme case, all right? That's more of an extreme case. And the abuse there, the vast majority of it was occurring off platform, as far as we know. But you had this other woman who was adopting kids and abusing them to force them to act for these like skits and stuff. She ended up dying in prison of a heart attack or some shit. But I don't think his parents are, like that. But I just, the whole notion, the whole existence of these types of channels. I'm back, sorry. 2 minutes, by the way. 2 seconds, by the way. I lied again. He was extra geeked this stream. I don't know what it was, man. I don't know what it was. Alright, what's up, people? What's up? What's up? So essentially, I like hearing myself laugh. I really do. Coffee and cigs are the streamer's lifeblood. Well, everybody else drinks Monsters, but I think that, like, if I was drinking energy drinks, my heart would actually fucking explode. Wait, what is this? Is he out? He's out of breath?
Don't break my ass. Fucking ridiculous.
What? Huh? What was the... There's not even a joke. There's not even like a joke or what? Is he like trying to show off to people? Yeah, guys, look, I'm still able to kind of run across my house. It's like it's a flat. You know, most people can do that, and they're not fucking nearly as winded as you. I've met people with fucking COPD that are not as winded as you are. You're so fucking fat. Holy shit. The worst part is, too, I know I like to call him an unk. He's not even that old. He's not even that old. I think he's, like, about the same age, maybe a little bit younger than my parents. How old is Tommy? But regardless, like, dude, my fucking mom, she lifts weights. She's like a runner. My dad is like a biker. So it's like, I mean, I don't know. I just like, he looks like 20 years older than he actually is. Okay, I will not entertain those comments. Thank you. Hold on. Okay, let's calm down, everybody. Let's calm down. Oh shit! No, this isn't real. This is not real. Okay, this is the third time I've heard this. Do not, you guys need to learn media literacy, okay? If it's a exaggerated claim or a claim that seems like unlikely or absurd, look into the source, even more so than you would normally do. You should always be verifying the source. But somebody sent something saying David is no longer a suspect in the murder. Is that even true? That's not true. Yeah, no major media outlet seems to substantiate this. Your source is literally... I mean, this is like a dicker's ass source. Some random Instagram account. Just because you see an image with like the, you know, Dexerto, big Twitter meme account font or whatever, doesn't mean it's actually like a real news story. Aiden, can I be your new dad? I'm gonna have to pass on that. I heard Gamma say it. Gamma's a fucking idiot. Anything that Gamma says, assume it's not true. Dude, I wish I had filmed it. I had the most enraging debate with Gamma behind the scenes. And it's so crazy because he's done this before. He literally gaslights like fuck. I don't use this term normally in a debate, but he'll argue with you about something for 45 minutes. And you keep repeating his own argument back to him, or what's being argued, to make sure that there's no dispute. And he won't dispute it until he completely gets blown out on that argument. And then he pretends like he not only did he never argue for it, those words never even left his mouth. And it's like, dude, like I said, it's like mind-numbingly. It's like we had an argument where essentially, you know, Gamma always talks about like how bad Mexican culture is or whatever. And the argument was, and I reaffirmed this because we would go over individual premises or like sub-arguments he had to support the overall conclusion. And I'd reaffirmed him, okay, well, if your argument is that Mexico's culture is exceptionally or uniquely violent, like due to factors inherent to its culture, how would what you just said like support that, right? And we go through this over and over and over again, and then we finally get to the point where at the end, he's like, well, that wasn't actually my argument. Dude, I wish that was on stream. That was insane. I was like sitting there just like in complete disbelief. Because it's like, it's not just like a, oh, he forgot. It's like a denial of the main thing being argued that's been restated, reaffirmed, and he's agreed to 5 times over the last 45 minutes. It's like you're sitting there in disbelief. Like, is he coping? Is he just lying to you? Is he like brain damaged, and did he genuinely forget what was being argued? Like, I don't know, dude. I honestly, it is crazy. All right, let's check out this Bobby Dioria video. Where's this shit?
And I don't know, before that, iDubbbz wasn't really known as a liar. He was kind of just known as like...
Oh, he doesn't show chat anymore either? Dude. This video's a nothing burger? What do you mean it's an... What else am I gonna sit here? He's just high and boring? Well, 2 times speed it.
A cringe lord, you know, because of the OnlyFans stuff. And some of the stuff he was saying, and him just being like a loser or whatever. Something on my own, like, whoa, wow. Kind of like a detective or something, dude. Like, you know, those detectives who have it, the murder can't be solved. They have like, in the movies, they have like a really weird, like crazy inkling about something that ends up being true. I don't know. But new video, everyone's reacting to it. Fucking Nick uploads a brand new video, everyone's reacting to it. Everyone's kind of like hyping and promoting each other and retweeting. But with me, like, I never really felt like I got as much like hype or support behind my videos. I'm sure there were like a couple of retweets or whatever, but like, when I made that video, it should have been like a big news, like headlining news for the drama streamers, but it really wasn't. People just kind of ignored it until someone else brought it up instead of me. Because I remember something
what is he even talking about? So he thinks there's been some conspiracy against him from the get-go to keep him down, even though Augie had him on as his co-host, his actual co-host, despite the fact that he exhibited lolcow behavior and offered absolutely nothing.
With Nick about is that he never promoted my video about the I don't think he did, he might have, whatever. But so let me rephrase this. He thought the video was risky when I showed it to him, because I showed it to him before I released it, and he suggested I shouldn't release it a little bit. And then when like someone else came out with like the same video with the same takes, he like tweeted, he's like, oh my god, this is an amazing take on the fucking iDubbbz thing, brand new thing, you guys need to watch it now. I'm like, bro, I said this all in the video I showed you a couple months ago. And then he made it into like me having a drama with the creator who made the video. I think it was like maybe Daily Dose of Buckley who said it or something. When I had no issue with him, I was just like a little upset, a little miffed that, you know, I kind of did all my own research to find this out, and then Nick was like, and I showed it to Nick, and he's like, it's not that good. And then when someone else does it, it's like, whoa, it's good. So that's why, like, thinking back in a lot.
Well, can you relay? Because there could be validity to that. Relay what specific criticisms he had for your video that was not applicable to the other video. This is like actually pathetic. You're never entitled to a promotion or a, like, I think when you're like crying about people's promotion of you, or I guess like as a friend, you could feel hurt by it and want to know why. But knowing Nick, I doubt Nick just said yours was worse and didn't elaborate. There was probably some elaboration there. And to be clear, like, even though, like, with all your criticism you can have of Nick, I'd say when people are on good terms with him, or immediately his friend, he is, like, relatively loyal to them. So, I feel like this is just, like, I feel like there's more to the story that he's just not elaborating on.
A lot of ways I'm like, I don't know if Nick even wanted to be my friend. Maybe he just thought it was like annoying and never wanted me to succeed really that much in the first place. Not just from that, but from other little things. And I kind of wish he was just like a little bit more honest with me. Maybe he was like implying it by like not talking as much with me over the year or whatever. And being like, oh, he's just an internet friend, he's not as close of a friend, and kind of keeping his distance. But I guess I just didn't take the hint because I'm autistic or whatever. I don't know. I wish he would have just said like, hey man, like, even if it's harsh, like, I don't know. I really don't know how you could go
To
about
be fair, okay, people say he blames his autism on everything, and he does. Like, he's one of those people that just reads, like, Instagram posts from, like, women into astrology who talk about how their ADHD is actually, like, why they're bleeding out of their ass or whatever, and they think autism and ADHD explain literally fucking everything. But this would be not understanding, like implied details or things that are not overtly stated but kind of subtly suggested is like a characteristic of having autism. And there's no dispute that Josh is autistic. A lot of us probably are. I don't know why I said us. I'm not autistic, but a lot of you probably are. And it's obviously it's spectrum, so you're at differing levels, but I think it's a fair assertion to say, yeah, I have trouble like reading between the lines, or understanding like implications. Just like be straightforward with me, and say things directly.
Like, I don't want to be friends with you. I don't know. It might have been a little weird, but remember what Nick said about Alex Gekmo? Guess who blocked Alex? Nick's not squared with Kleeman. Dude, I told him a year ago that these guys were just like fucking any guy was fucking up or whatever, and I should have not DM'd Alex or whatever. But I told him like these guys are crazy, don't give them attention, and instead he's like, oh nope, I'm gonna do the exact opposite. Like I just don't know why he never, and like me talking to him, telling him about Destiny, like he didn't like Destiny or whatever. I just don't know why I felt like he just acted like all of my opinions like didn't matter or were bad or were, I don't know. I really didn't feel like as appreciated. And like, yeah, he doesn't like praise me 24/7. But it's just like I feel like I got almost no acknowledgement for anything good I did. He did compliment the bully streams once and said he was inspired to do URR based off the bully streams. So he did compliment that, although he did kind of undo all that by saying the bully streams are cringe publicly.
What is this guy talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and he can think those things. I don't want him to lie. I don't want him to be untruthful or untruthful to himself. And I just felt like the way he went about it wasn't very good for someone who called me a friend. Even if it's like internet friend or whatever.
You called me a friend. You were never hyping up anything I did. In fact, like, you would actively, like, deride me if that's what, like, the present sentiment was. And just to be clear, in private, Josh did call me smart and shit. And, like, he was, like, fairly nice to me in private. But then, like, when it came to, like, public engagement, he just did whatever the crowd was doing. And it's like, I'm not entitled to anything. I don't fault, anyone for that or whatever. But it's like, this like, I mean, dude, you want him to, like, roll out the fucking red carpet for you? I'm almost certain that Dioria did, like, say good things about you and did, like, point to some of your videos repeatedly.
But it is what it is. I like Alias Buckley. Yeah, I have nothing against him. I've never really... people take it a certain way, and I understand why people take that a certain way, and I take responsibility for, like, maybe not being clear enough or not good enough with, like, my intention or tone indicators in text or whatever. But when I correct that a certain way, still doesn't believe me. That's the thing, too, like, I already did a video on this. He took that as me shitting on Alias Buckley's video, which is not what I meant, and when I clarify it, he just doesn't believe me. That's the thing, too, like, I do something, and it could, like... People take it a certain way, and I understand why people take that a certain way, and I take responsibility for, like, maybe not being clear enough or not good enough with, like, my,
He always thinks that there's further room for elaboration. If somebody's not reaching the same conclusion he has, he's just not elaborating enough, and he's eventually going to be able to explain it in a way where they reach the same conclusion he does. He does not understand that other people can look at the same objective situation and reasonably reach a conclusion that he wouldn't reach because he's far more sympathetic to himself, like everybody is. It's zero theory of mind. He thinks, oh, they are only reaching this conclusion because I haven't explained myself enough. Yo, thank you, Spencer, for the 5. I was in his chat doing my best to stir the pot. I'd avoid doing stuff like that, to be clear. I genuinely want to disincentivize directly engaging with the shitters. Like, we can cover them from a distance. But obviously, I'm not, But that puts us $19 away from Streamly goal, folks. If you want to chip in, support us as always, you could donate through Streamlabs, Super Chats, all that good stuff. You can also, 122 watching, so views are rebounding a little bit. But 50 likes, like up, it goes a long fucking way. A long way. Okay, we may not have the numbers, but we can beat them through a dedicated community. Like up, all that good shit.
Intention or tone indicators in text or whatever. But when I correct it, people are like, no, you're lying. You're lying, this is what you actually meant. To the point where sometimes I even concede to something that isn't true because I'm like, well, it's easier than just trying to argue like the little nuance.
No, you evidently did lie, and like the objective analysis of objective evidence demonstrates that you lied, right? Because, for example, I wasn't lying about having BPD. I told people I was, only 99% sure or whatever, which is a lie by omission because he told several people definitively that he was diagnosed with BPD. He knows that. He's obviously remembers his own DMs, and he's seen those DMs when they've been brought up to him countless times, but continues to triple down on it anyway because he can't make a concession. Another example would be that Diorio is comment cop. He knows it's not true. I spoke to Technicals in private, and even Technicals conceded that it wasn't true. The reason I know it's not true is because Diorio showed me, and I'm not kidding you, 7 years worth of DMs with comment cop. Now you could say Diorio knew that someone would somehow make the connection 7 years later, so that full 7 years was DMing comment cop on a regular basis. But, like, obviously that's not fucking true. Diorio, you could have every criticism of him in the world. He's obviously not comment cop. First of all, comment cop is Australian. The times he's active have been consistent with that. His name before being comment cop was, like, Australian Gamer Police. I think I've known of comment cop longer than I've known of Diorio. Diorio's obviously not comment cop. He has no evidence for that.
It's a bit right. Or like people say, like see it as me making an excuse and not trying to take responsibility. But it's more of me wanting to take responsibility for the stuff I did do, not the stuff I didn't do. So I'm trying to debunk and also take responsibility for the stuff I did do at the same time. And I don't know, people see it all as like a big excuse.
Okay, debunk the fact that we have DMs where you tell people definitively that you have BPD. Debunk that you weren't lying by omission when you told people that you only said you were 99% sure you have it.
AIDS gang represent, okay?
Yo! Thank you so much. Scallywag with the 10. $9 away from Streamly Goal. You guys are the fucking best. Thank you so much, Scallywag.
Yeah, now everyone agrees with Destiny. But the thing is, like, yeah, he did something super bad that, like, is another level of, like, okay, this is, like, another kind of point in time for people to, like, disavow him or whatever, because he took it a step further than he usually does in his bullshittery. But he never really came across as a really great guy, either. Like, I don't know. And whenever I mention him occasionally, it's not like I was like, like, mauling or whatever. It was more like, it was more me being confused at why people were praising him so much, and in response to people praising him, rather than me, like, being actually, like, hateful or anything.
The other thing, too, is, yes, even though you or I may not be jealous of Nick, in terms of what Bowblax wants and doesn't have, that's personified, and it has always been personified in Nick, which has led to, like, extreme jealousy, and this interpretation that Nick is talking down on him, in instances where Nick is obviously not talking down on him. Bowblax wants his opinions to be valued. He wants his personality to be valued. And he sees that Nick has that, and Nick has, like, a dedicated audience. This was before the Wine Mom audience. And for him, that's what he wants. And it's led to, like, extreme jealousy of Nick. 5 from Spencer Howard! I was being very nice to Bowblax, FYI. I saw Nick was mocking him from his Wine Mom hug box, so I decided to show support for Bobby. I pay to be annoying. Thank you so much, Spencer Howard. $6 away from Streamly Goal. You guys are the fucking best. So the thing is, right, Diorio, two things can be simultaneously true. You can have genuine gripes with Diorio and also understand that Bowblax is somebody that does not deserve to be glazed. And yes, he is a liar. Yes, he did, like, make assertions about Nick that were incorrect. And it's not going to be doing anybody any favors to be supporting him when he is, in fact, lying about Nick.
And, like, yeah, I think he sucks, but, like, I also think, like, Donald Trump sucks. I also think, like, a bunch of other people suck. It's not like, I think he sucks in a way that's, like, a personal, like, he personally hurt me. I don't have any personal feelings for
Yeah, like, I think he sucks, but it's not personal. I mean, I think Hitler sucks.
Destiny. It's just that I think he was a piece of
10 from Techie Tone. Goal and money for the Nick Snark. Thank you so much, Techie Tone. Very based. Very fucking based with the $10. You guys are awesome.
shit pretty objectively. Kind of like Nick Fuentes as well, right? And I'm like, why you fucking... Guys, come on. But Nick has, like, I think publicly, like, reinterpreted that as me being, like, obsessed with Destiny. I still see people being like, oh... Well,
yeah, he uses the Fuentes thing as a criticism against Augie, and I don't sweep for friends anymore. If an assertion about them is correct, it's correct. Augie did have an association with Fuentes. The two of them knew each other. I think they met in person at one point. That part was not made up, obviously. But the thing is, Bowblax knew about it this entire time. He knew about the political orientation of many members of Augie's fan base, as well as Augie's own political orientation at that point in time, and he never took issue with it.
I'm still really mad at the debate he did with him that he won 5 years ago, and he's really fucking, you know, fucking always talking about Destiny obsessing of him. No. I had a debate with him 5 years ago, and sometimes I mention it, me winning the debate versus him because he's a debate bro god, and, you know, people ratioed him with dislikes and views and stuff and said he was wrong in that debate, and I just think it's like a little funny anecdote. I was like, that happened one time, isn't that funny? And I bring it up occasionally. But that's, like, really about it. And I don't really bring it up much. I think I've had to have grown up less than 10 times in the last 5 years, like... But yeah, Nick will take these things and blow them up into, like, a bigger deal than it actually is, and like I guess people think he has some credibility knowing me personally because like we did talk a lot, not as much in 2023 and 2024 or late 2023, but definitely before 2023. And yeah, Nick just takes like one little moment or thing I said and reinterprets it in his own way that's like even more crazy and then tries to make jokes off it. Which
example,
it is what it is. But he called you obsessed with me. How am I obsessed with this? I barely talk.
You are obsessed with Destiny, to be clear. You are absolutely obsessed with the guy. That's okay though. I think we're allowed to be obsessed with people. It's just like cringe when it comes off as like a spiteful obsession, because you're like mad that you were talked down to and it plays on like a pre-existing insecurity of yours. I think online, like, yeah, I do like criticize the types that like have made their whole personality just Destiny. But like in all seriousness, right? We all have that one person that whoa, what the fuck is that? Holy shit. We're going places, people. We're going places.
About that guy, literally. Don't you guys see, like,
wait, why is Minecraft isn't open on my screen? Why is it just the... Huh? Huh? Okay, it's not showing up in... There we go.
I barely talk about the guy. To the point, and it even made me like kind of wary to bring him up because even when he like gets upset at gets exposed to the pedo because everyone's like obsessed with it, I'm not really. I don't know how that is a thing, you know. And I was gonna say something, but I got distracted by the $5 from not space. So Clean got the heads up, or gone to the heads of Willie Mac, Tommy C, and Nick. Nick knew Daddy now can't sweep for GGGs and H3 now. Yeah, I knew that.
Okay,
Nick was kind of like,
I get it if you don't like Diorio. Okay, even when I was cool with Diorio, I said to him, you have to understand like why people don't like you sometimes, whatever. I get you're not, but like, we don't need to get to the point where we're like sitting there fucking hyping Bowblax up despite Diorio. You've reached like, yeah, it's like incredibly petty and it's a disservice to everyone. You don't have to not like Bowblax because Diorio doesn't like him. You cannot like Bowblax because I don't like him.
Prepping to be pro H3, like even when I was like friends with him. Like the last like 6 months I'd say I was friends with him. Like I knew he was gonna be pro H3 everything. Like he was very much gearing up for it. He kind of always has these creators that he really likes that he latches onto. And yeah, H3 was definitely like the next one he was kind of prepping for. It's a little weird trait Nick has where he kind of like fanboys over things, but that's kind of like his personality, like how he fanboys over like getting all the Pokemon stuff and getting all the Fortnite skins and stuff like that. And now he wants to know every little thing about H3 and support him in every little way and stuff. And same with like Destiny. And I'm not saying that's like a bad thing. I'm just saying that's kind of like his personality. So yeah, I think he'll always like Nick will always be an orbiter of somebody because like that's just his personality, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I just think it's annoying. It's kind of bad because it feels like he doesn't levy criticism properly against the people he kind of simps for. But at the same time, he has like made content new H3 and has a longer history of like criticizing H3. So even though it's kind of weird that's like all hate for H3, then all love for H3, and not like kind of a mixture at the same time.
I think this criticism is fair. I think this criticism is actually, you know, this is relatively fair. Sadly though, that's not his like. It like the thing is like. All of Bowblax's like genuine critiques are overshadowed by like the insane lies he comes up with that are clearly like developed out of spite.
I don't know. He definitely doesn't think like Ethan's a perfect person because he did shit on him before. So you know, unless he like thinks, I don't know, like he actually believes his 180 opinion that he has like reflects the time people change. Like people just become good all of a sudden overnight. I wonder when he'll think that for me. When is that moment where like, oh, Bowblax is good now? It's always all hater and all love, dude. I feel like there's no nuance. But I don't watch his streams anymore, so I don't know. He's had nuance in his commentary before. I like his commentary. So honestly,
So is he still latching onto this delusion? By the way, is Noid online? Noid, you better have moved the fucking bee farm, buddy.
some nuance, but I don't know, just a little bit outside looking in. Like I never see him say like, "Oh, Ethan shouldn't have done that." You know, it's all just pretty one-sided, at least from his Twitter every once in a while. No, calling it "Let Me Speak" that'd be interesting, but I feel like that's like kind of like the same move that Monday Matt did with the Boulder Talk Radio, right? Isn't that kind of cringe? Or like how Ian did it with "She Ruined My Career" podcast.
So boring. Anything else?
That's kind of like, well, I was pretty positive to Keemstar at the beginning, but I have been critical of him as well. I don't know. I don't think I ever. Maybe you could call me a Keemstar simp from like 2015 when I first found out about him to like maybe 2020 or 2019. Then I kind of saw him more as just like a peer or another guy, or kind of acknowledged his flaws a little bit more than I would have previously. Will he ever react to a direct with Snail again? Probably not. He didn't really have that good commentary, and he doesn't like me, and he'd probably be annoying. Isn't necessarily okay. Well, that's good. Yeah, I assume. Well, Nick did have pretty good takes and stuff, so like I'd assume they're still pretty good. And just pretty
so boring. Does it ever get better?
YouTubers, because fucking Mudahar does something stupid and you might like be friends with them at the time or whatever. That doesn't mean you're fucking stupid. Or you
Bye from Spencer. What do you mean? I like Dioria, which is why I want him to know that I'm watching his every move, documenting everything. It's a love letter and a good faith critique. Got it.
Agree with them or whatever. We're all individuals. We all understand this, right? So it's like the whole like getting stressed out about people being on the same page. It's like really culty, like trying to make like everybody agree and stuff. Like let us be individuals and have disagreements and have it be chill and not like war.
There's this big misconception that because people disagree with you and are criticizing you, that you're not allowed to feel the way you feel. It's like when people invoke it's free country, First Amendment, by criticizing what you have to say. That's not people telling you you're literally not allowed to say it. It's that they're telling you they think it's fucking really dumb. You're allowed to, like, be misguided. You're allowed to be an idiot. Nobody's, like, physically stopping you from that.
This side and this side, oh! You know? So yeah, it's really, really sad that he's stressed out in that way.
Bill said, well, I have nothing else on my docket for right now. So, you know, I could see what's up with this, or I could just end stream. This was my last topic.
I hope he can find a better peace of mind, or like maybe restructure some things fundamentally, so like the fact that Queenan doesn't agree with him doesn't bother him as much, right? And I guess he has kind of maybe taken steps because he always says like, no internet friends, I'm gonna have less internet friends or whatever. He says that over the years, but the real solution—
I haven't seen the dirt yet, Bobby.
It's not less internet friends, it's just changing—
It probably was. Appreciate it.
Attitude to be less strict, because you're anxious about Queenan agreeing with you because other people are anxious about, you know, the same thing but towards you, because you create this environment where if you have the wrong take, you're gonna get bullied and like fucking have a million streams made on you. So this is culture, and since Nick is pretty successful within his field, like it trickles down. And,
you've had no problem, but you know it's worked this way with people you disagree with, and you've had no problem participating in the dog pile and bandwagon in the past, right? Now you could say he's allowed to change his opinion on it, but when you have to look at the context to ascertain whether or not that change is to serve his own benefit, or if it's like a genuine change of opinion. Because people change opinions all the time, okay? When I was younger and participating in these communities, I was like a fucking, you know, edgelord that would jump on every bandwagon and troll people and shit. And, you know, as I've become older, I realize it's just not, like, totally my style. I don't cover Bowblax to partake in the bandwagon, and I'm willing to give him credit when certain criticisms are fair. I go over him because he's actively taking digs at me, and he just lies constantly. It's like a train wreck. You just can't look away.
Like, maybe Queenan would have done it regardless of Nick, I don't know, but like, then we have, you know, everybody else doing this like extremity where it's like Mudahar fucks up and now he's like the devil, you know, and so now Nick is afraid of doing a little fuck up and he's the devil now for Queenan. Well, you created that environment by the type of you know, content you made, and we can say the same thing about me with the Tipster Bully streams, but when you watch those, I feel like they're a lot more drill.
I honestly, I don't think that Nick's gripe with Queenan, and I'm obviously I'm not sweeping, right? Because, you know, ultimately, like, yeah, Nick did come. I have no reason to sweep for him. It's not merely the disagreement on opinions that bothers him. It's when you take personal shots that, like, affect his ego, which I think is just, like, fairly sensitive. And Queenan, like, made comments that, I'm not gonna say Nick interpreted, they were, like, obviously personal shots, but Queenan does that to everybody. He does it to me, even though we're on good terms. And I think that's what led to the ultimate, like, you know, fucking fear of Queeman. Not merely because Queeman disagrees with him, but the more like personal shots, saying Nick's dishonest with his coverage, saying Nick only does it for the views, right? Ascertain or making descriptive claims about his motive that like have an effect on him personally. What do you mean by personal? So there's a criticism meaning, hey, we have a different opinion, right? Which, let's be honest, none of us really do. It's the name of the game. We all take personal shots, which is why I think Nick is sensitive. But then there is like making a claim about you that leads to a conclusion that has some like, that demonstrates some moral failing on your character. You're only doing this for the views. You're only you're being dishonest. You're covering stuff up. Right? That kind of stuff. And even though I think some of those assertions are totally fair, I think that's the part that made Nick become defensive.
Now the earlier ones probably not as much.
Yo, thank you so much, Spencer. Chat says check DMs. I did. There's nothing going on. But appreciate the $2 from G's. Okay, I'm back. The Jays are losing. Thank you so much.
And there's probably some aspects of it that I probably wouldn't do today, and maybe I did help also create this environment. I'm pretty sure I did. I did contribute probably to this environment of people being stressed out with little mistakes or whatever.
There's a lady that thinks she's being stalked by Olivia Benson. What? We stan Olivia Benson, okay? We stan. Dude, Olivia is a fucking queen.
And getting called out for it, but yeah, no, I definitely contributed to that. Even if it's like jokey, like I pick out something ridiculous about Tipster, like I don't know, him playing too much Resident Evil, I still I definitely contributed to that 100%. But
you contributed to it not just because you found it funny, but because you were getting what you valued. People watching you for something that for you, as opposed, even though they weren't really watching for you, they were watching you go against somebody they don't really like. But like for a minute there, you're not just the guy that reads tweets. You're a guy whose opinion matters and his jokes are funny. Which is why you went overboard with it, because it was getting you what you wanted and you didn't really know when it became like a little bit creepy.
Yeah, and that's why earlier I was saying like I'm a little hesitant to do like a bully stream because I don't want to contribute to an environment where we're stressed out about what people think of each other. I know, that's kind of ironic when the whole point of drama commentary kind of is that.
Also, if you're going to ask me to cover, link it in the inbox, and I'm far more likely to cover it if you actually link it to me.
But like, make it more entertainment-based rather than like people personally like getting anxious or wary or like actually going to war or whatever. Yeah, okay, that's exactly what I was saying. Spencer, Nick is scared Queen will make him look like an idiot. That's not how that mindset that Nick has is probably one of the biggest issues with him, right? People, he's not gonna make you look bad. He's a completely separate commentator, and a lot of people probably who are watching
That's just not true at all. In like a direct call or confrontation, because I like for a while, right? Queeman was giving me, as if he was talking to Nick himself, the criticisms that he had of like the specifics of the criticisms he had for Nick and his coverage. He had receipts and everything. And it's like, yeah, like these are things that Dioria would ultimately have to bite the bullet on in the setting of a live confrontation, which would look bad for him. So to say that he wouldn't look bad doing it is just false.
Nick wouldn't know who Queen was if Nick didn't mention his name as much as he might. I don't know if he does on stream. Probably not in recent times, but like, I don't even know where I was. Yeah. Anyway, the point I was making is that he, as I was saying, other people don't. Sorry, I'm like so fucking laggy with my brain sometimes. It doesn't mean I'm stupid. It just means I take a while to gather my thoughts.
I'm not stupid, guys, right? I'm a real person, and my opinions matter.
Videos, and a lot smarter on videos than on streams, because I'm really bad at off-the-cuff thinking, or not as good. It's just something I'm always gonna have to deal with. And it's sometimes unfortunate debates or whatever, because sometimes I'm like, can you repeat that? Or I'm like, and it might like be like I'm coming up with a lie, but I'm just kind of like brain lagging. It happens all the time. Anyway, yeah, so he's scared of Queen would make him look like an idiot. Other commentators don't make you look like an idiot. It's your own actions. No one's gonna judge Nick if Queenman says something. Oh, Queenman said something I disagree with. It's Nick's fault.
Well, yes, they will. Yes, they will, because Queenman is able to like point out the specifics of like flaws in Nick's logic and coverage. And ultimately, that either leads to Nick defending an indefensible position, or I honestly, I don't think you really look, to be fair, actually, I don't think you look that bad if you're willing to sit there, and I've done this before because I'm not scared of a concession. A concession doesn't make you look bad if you, do it with, do it with while being genuine. Like to say that, yeah, no, you're right on this point. I've done it with Queeman several times, right? We've had many disagreements. I've said to Queeman, Other times I didn't bite the bullet because Queeman didn't make an argument to me that I believe was like sufficient. But other times I've said, nope, you're right on this. You're correct. My position is off. I have to think about this again. And to do so, first of all, it's genuine, but second of all, you come across as somebody willing to take criticism and like reevaluate their own opinions, which makes your opinions hold more weight, right? If you're willing to get rid of opinions that or alter opinions that were demonstrated to you to be misguided or incorrect.
Like that whole logic.
But still, even then, right? Even then, the concession itself will still have, it's marginal, but some negative effects to it.
It just doesn't make sense, and it's so core. Like he's had this mindset since like I've known him, right? This isn't a new thing. And I'm curious, like what causes it? It's really.
Diorio is he watching this video? He might talk about Queeman. I don't know. I've just been waiting, man. I've been waiting so hard for H3 and Hassan to end. Like not like them as people, but like this like how they're intertwined with everything and anything going on. I long for the day where the tech tones and Nux Takus and like just stop coming up on my feed. I don't see Hassan on my timeline or tweets about him on my timeline. I don't hear about Ethan. It's just like drama will become good again. And it's like, I've just waited so patiently. And it just never seems to go away. It just never goes away. It's the never-ending drama. Which is why I find it hard to believe that Diorio's still genuinely interested in this. But more pathetic, at least Diorio has some incentive, right? He gets the bag, whether or not he's honest about that. His fans, the people watching, are the ones like I view the most negatively, because like, how are you as a person still this interested in Hassan, Ethan? Like, when does it end for you? $5 from G's. I said that to Nick a while ago, but he's interested in the topics. I don't buy. There's some I know he's interested in. I know that Nick is genuinely interested to some extent in iDubbbz and Creator Clash. I know this because I was going to temporarily take a position as a writer for Nick a long time ago, and I ultimately, like everything else, didn't follow through. But like, we had a long conversation about Creator Clash, and I tried to draft a script on it. He's always been interested in this. That hasn't changed.
I don't know if anyone's told him that it's not a good mindset. I don't think I have. I don't think I got an opportunity to, or it came up at all.
Maybe him talking about Ethan is motivated by his hate for iDubbbz. I don't know. I think like his dislike and interest in iDubbbz and Creator Clash like is genuine. I think that's totally genuine. But I just find it hard to believe that he's not making any concessions in the topics he covers for the sake of viewership, obviously.
Because I guess I didn't think about it that much, but yeah, I think it's a little weird. To think that other commentators, other peers reflect on him when they don't. It doesn't really make sense. Who's still in Nick's OG circle? It's all the same people, that it was before I left, just minus me. I don't think anyone else is kind of dipped out. But I don't know who he talks to, or what group chats exist, or what. Doesn't talk about him at all. He used to, a year ago, I know. But yeah, it's good that he doesn't talk about him. I guess that was a private DM that leaked, right? I still think that mindset is pretty dumb, and he needs to change it. But
this is just this cope that Dior, like, it's Schrodinger's not caring, okay? I've often wondered to myself, because all that Parry leaked was that Nick didn't like Queeman, and I often wondered to myself, why is that, like, not even the details, okay? The details were given to us by Tommy, who knowingly leaked that, you know, Nick was complaining that Queeman had hosted Salva, okay? But I'd often wondered, like, I don't think this is news to anybody, and I don't think, in all honesty, like, complaining in private is all that pathetic. What I did not like was, like, his failure to, like, face Queeman head on, obviously. I've said that to him. But now I realize it does, like, contradict the image he wants to create of not caring. He very evidently does care what this side of the community thinks about him. and he has to maintain this illusion that he doesn't. And that kind of, like, I guess, fucked with that. 2 from Spencer. Being an H3 orbiter gives Nick emotional validation. Okay, I don't know about that theory. Nick was looking for... I'm not even, like, I'm on good terms with Queeman, but, like, we don't even talk anymore all that much. We don't really, like, we're on good terms. You know, he sometimes... I'll sometimes have a reason to DM him, or vice versa. I think he's popped into chat a few times. But, like, I'm not particularly, like talking to him on a regular basis, or, you know, our over the last... Dude, since August... No. Since September 1st, we have only DM'd each other. There have been a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... There have been a total of 6 DMs exchanged between us since September 1st.
Yeah, I think it would just be better for his own mental, too. Like, it doesn't matter what other people do. People see you for what you do, and...
Something happened? No, nothing happened. I like Queeman, right? I have no issues with Queeman. We just haven't been, like, covering stuff that overlaps that much. We had a reason during the Cameron stuff. We, like, overlapped a lot in coverage. You know, I think Queeman's fine to talk to. I don't know. I have no gripes with the guy. But it's been the same with all of, like, that side of, I guess, like, new commentary, right? I haven't spoken to Chud in a while. I haven't spoken to Chud since the Nick shit originally went down. And people think I have some, behind the scenes, people think I have some beef with Chud. I've had complaints about Chud's, like, audience, right? And I know a lot of you are members of Chud's audience. Like, you know, my complaints have been, like, I think he, like, caters a bit too much. Maybe I just haven't seen enough of his recent streams. But, like, I felt like he was catering too much to a certain demographic in his audience. But to be fair, people presented me with, like, counterexamples that he's not. He's actually actively disavowing that sect of his audience. But I like Chud still, too. I like Chud. I have no problems with Chud. We just don't talk a lot. I don't talk to people anymore because of who they are. Like, I talk to people if I'm gonna like have a good time talking to them. And many times, yeah, that involved people always like, oh, talking to shitters. Yeah, I tend to feel as though, like, the shitters are more entertaining to talk to than the big guys. I don't, like, you know, I won't deny that. Like, I'd much rather sit here and fucking listen to, like, some debate between Gamma and Dickers while we all play Minecraft than go and, like, be in some group chat of, like, Diorio, Chud, and Augie talking about some, like, you know, dumb drama. You look so what is that word? I've never heard that word. I've literally never heard that word before. Malicious. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about.
You're in control of yourself, and don't worry about what other people say or do reflecting on you. That's just a weird mindset.
Aiden, you gotta dig up some shitter drama, lead the drama world. It's been low recently, and I actually got very good criticism from somebody, surprisingly enough, from Clipped Live. It was that post where people were, like, coping that I'd mocked Diorio. Essentially, this guy had said, hold on, because once again, there's always content. I know I blame it on the lack of it's not really the lack of topics, it's the lack of stuff that I'm interested in, and I learned after Jake Doolittle to stop forcing myself to cover things that weren't, like, all that interesting to me, because I was just, at that point, I was just, like, restreaming content. I didn't really have a whole lot to say. But somebody on the Clip Live subreddit actually had some good criticism, where it was like, you know, a lot of the people, when I was imitating Nick, were, where the fuck? Did it just disappear? Some just didn't realize I was mocking Nick and were addressing, like, the claims I was making as if they were my own arguments. but others were like, did Nick fuck this guy's girlfriend or something? As if like this was like some exceptional mimicry that beyond what I normally do to others. But somebody had said, where is it? I understand that Aiden's interest is in politics and history, makes him see especially the Ethan/Hassan drama through a political lens, which does give insight into their respective arguments. At the same time, you can look at drama from a strictly interpersonal angle. Okay, I don't agree with that. Like, I think I respect that opinion, but I, politely disagree, because I think that this drama, Ethan's motivations are political to some extent. I do think, right, speaking from experience, that there is like a hyper defensiveness being Jewish, and like attacks on the Israeli state are considered, through like what you've grown up with, attacks on your existence as being Jewish. Like, Israel's done a very good job at like reinforcing into like the heads of like members of the Jewish diaspora that like this is like an attack on us is an attack on you all. So there's like this emotional need to like vehemently defend Israel and everything. And I think that like, had it not been about Israel, I think that Ethan and Hassan's interpersonal drama would not be talked about nearly as much by Ethan. So I think that although that can go for other dramas that may have political connotations, I think understanding the politics behind this is very important for understanding motivations, dishonest arguments that Ethan makes, and why it is actually apologia for the state of Israel. For example, like his like revisionism of Israel's like participation in raids in the West Bank during the 2006 Lebanon war. And I think that like even Nick had to concede because he had gone against Hassan for a comment that you did need to understand the political dynamic to interpret. And after I made that argument, Nick did concede on that in my chat and on Twitter. So I think that no, like you do need some level of political understanding here to even understand the interpersonal dynamic. It's hard to, like, obviously, like, I don't like these people that are defending a state that I think is perpetrating and has perpetrated. This didn't just start with like Gaza, has historically partaken in indefensible acts, and like it is a vehemently racist society against Arabs, etc., that it has tried to actively stoke up hate against Arabs and Muslims in the West. But at the same time, I do feel somewhat bad for like the Jewish people that have been like not nearly, like, it's so marginal compared to, this is not me saying this is comparable at all. This is just another angle to it. I talk about like the suffering of, what's been done in Palestine many times. But I also feel bad for these people who've been brainwashed into thinking that the entire world is out to get them for like an immutable identifying characteristic. And I just don't think that's true. And I think that it's such an exhausting way to live, to feel like this state is an extension of you and you have to defend it at any and all costs, and that nobody will, like, the world hates you just because you're Jewish. I think that's like a very like exhausting way to live. And I think that like you can see it take a toll on Ethan. I don't think that Ethan is necessarily lying when he says he feels, I think he's lying about many things. I think he exaggerates like the level of threat against him, etc. But I do think that he does genuinely believe like everything's anti-Semitic. And it's like, it's just like you've like trapped yourself in this like mental prison. And the world is like, for example, this is a good example, right? This is a good example. I love traveling. I go to foreign countries, and when people heard that I was going to such and such country, they'd be like, it's not safe for like a Jewish boy or whatever to go to this and I'm like, what are you talking about? And of course I go to the country, I have a great time, I don't ever face any problems. To be fair, I'm not like very openly, at least like, I don't wear like, I'm not like very openly like of Jewish descent, but there's obviously those who have experience amongst Jewish people could probably tell I'm Jewish. But You know, when I'm not worried about this looming vague threat, you know, it's fun. I love going everywhere. I've never faced problems. I've literally never faced problems for it. Going to like different corners of the world, and I just like the people that are trapped in their little mansions, thinking that there's about to be a Holocaust in Los Angeles, it's a mental illness. It is like a mental illness at this point. Have you been to... Okay, that's not... Obviously, I'm not talking about there are individual places that might be anti-Semitic, but these are places you don't go to anyway. You have no reason to be, like, living in fear of. Yes, I'm sure Israel's existence and the things it has done, and because Israel insists on acting as a representation of all Jewish people, has led to conditions where people are hated for... But that's because in certain parts of the world, Zionism and Judaism is viewed synonymously. And that's due to like very purposeful propaganda on Israel's end. Be honest, Aiden, who's like a threat in terms of what? Who's the real, the Zionist state, ultimately? The Zionist state. Like, yeah, if I was like, if I was like a Christian Italian named Vinny, I still wouldn't go to Iraq. I still wouldn't go to Iraq. Like, there's no meaningful difference for me in my life. I've lived in several states. I've been to, what? It's got to be approaching, I think after December, I might have gone to about 20 countries. I'm looking at either doing Chile, Argentina, Uruguay. I'd take a boat across to Uruguay from Argentina, or I'm looking at doing the Dominican Republic and then Cuba. Because I'm going to, in December, or no, January, I'm going to stay with my grandma in Florida. And it's actually not that far, obviously from the DR, Cuba. This is just anti-Arab racism. I have no problems with Arabs. I have no problems with Muslims. Do I like what Muslims believe in? No. I don't like, but that's like my gripes with religion in general, though. Like, I don't dislike Muslims because I think their religion makes them think that... Cause it doesn't, to be clear, but people, like, genuinely believe, like, Muslims, like, want to, like, secretly conquer us and kill all of us, and all Muslims are, like, sleeper agents or whatever. I don't believe that. That's not why I dislike their beliefs. I think that the Quran is just false. Obviously, there are, like, various contradictions in it that are reminiscent of scientific misconceptions at the time it was written, and I just think they're like misguided, but in the same way I think many religious people are misguided, and I don't have any like particular unique dislike for individual followers of Islam.
That isn't really, I don't know, I could get super parasocial and maybe like speculate, oh, he has this mindset because he doesn't have siblings, because like I imagine he's an only child, and I imagine if he had siblings and that mindset wouldn't last very long. Of like, you're embarrassing me. You're representing our family Diorio name and embarrassing me and making me look cringe. Like, that's maybe something you care about, like, as a teenager or a kid if you have siblings. But that's something, if you have ever had siblings, that's something you get over pretty quickly. I don't know. So maybe that's why he still has that mindset. I don't really know. Maybe if he had siblings, it wouldn't be that way. But, yeah, it's just stupid. And it's making him get stressed out. So hopefully he can get that dealt with, you know. As for, like, audience and stuff, like, I don't really think it matters if you get embarrassed by things when people say it and you say it online or whatever. But, like, for his own mental health, like his own well-being, not, like, his channel's well-being for the person, like, he probably shouldn't have, it probably helped his mental a lot to not have that mindset anymore. Aiden schemes with Nick, with details of messages leaked. Or just a general statement about Queenman. No, I'm just talking not specifically about Queenman, but just the whole, like, other commentators reflect badly on me and it stresses me out. That's a thing that that's been going on with him for a while, like, even, like, when I was friendly with him and stuff like that. Specifically, the example I brought up with Dumpy, where he was like, his bad content looks bad on the community or something like that. Or I think he's also said that about Jalen, a couple other people. He might have also said that about me.
Dude, I'm ride or die for Dumpy, okay? I love Dumpy. I never appreciated the shots that Nick was taking against Dumpy. What are you making in Minecraft? I'm making like a mansion.
Came here because of the leak from the Oreo server. Dude, am I just happening to...
Two from Spencer. You should travel to... I'd love to go to Australia. I'd love to go to Australia. It's actually definitely on my list. See, I'd be very interested. What I'd love to do in Australia, I know you can get like express permission from certain Aboriginal... I'd love to go visit an Aboriginal community. And I would love to... just the wildlife in general. I'd love to like see dude, I'd love to find a way where I'm allowed to pet a koala. I know there's some like reservations or whatever, or animal reservation that allow you to do that, but yo, thank you so much for helping us reach Australia's very expensive. Yeah. Look at inbox. Starbased is snarking you. Oh my, we're still on this? Aiden deemed me vindicated and innocent above all else. So should I expect... Okay, this is not true. I think I said... I jokingly hyped you up. No, all my criticism against Starbased, I did push back on the morale shit. But my main gripe has always been his dishonesty and the actual engagement with the 16-year-old. Like, yeah, I think he's like a weirdo. That has not changed at all. Even if I, now think that Morale is like super pathetic or whatever, and like a fucking sex pest weirdo, that none of my criticisms against Starbased have changed.
Stream like the same day Nick gets exposed for something and I didn't even know. Because I woke up, saw that the DLC was on the Nintendo Direct, and turned on my stream. I don't know anything. Is there like something new? Oh, hi Nicholas. Oh, he's watching. What's up, everybody? Come over to the Bowblax channel if you want. But yeah, I hope everybody watching through. If Nick's watching on stream right now,
I'd love to see how many viewers he had live.
I hope everyone's doing well. I have a bigger audience than usual then. But yeah, and yeah, well, maybe if he is watching, I should apologize for something. I mean, I already did, but I don't know. I guess like yeah. So in a tweet reply, I think Tipster told me
he might apologize for like details that don't have. Once again, there are things you can concede to or apologize for that don't have a major detriment on like concluding that this thing is true, and then concluding what that says about your character. There are certain things that you could apologize for where there wouldn't be a super negative conclusion about your character from apologizing for that. And I think Bowblax would be fine apologizing for some of that. But the more major things, like him being dishonest, even though he had at times has conceded for it and then changed up completely, I don't think he can make a long-term, permanent concession that he outright lied.
Like, hey, are you gonna like say sorry for like the coming out as non-binary and putting the blame on Nick? And I'm like, yeah, man, I definitely like.
At least this like, oh, he's an open sex, but guys, he's leaning into it, so it's not pathetic. It's like total cope. No, it is pathetic. It is completely pathetic. If a woman was acting like Morale did, you'd call her a whore and never take her seriously. Yet this fucking desperate fat ass is like in DMs trying to get like temporary interaction from women who don't know what he looks like because he knows that the only interaction he can get with women is from behind a fucking cat avatar online where they don't have to see what he looks like because he knows in real life he would be repulsive to women. So this is his, I guess, alternative to actually like getting laid or like forming an IRL meaningful connection with one.
Shouldn't have like done it in that way for sure. And he got my thoughts because it was like a while ago. It was like a year ago. But yeah, I believe my tweet said, maybe I'd have to look up the exact tweet, but I believe it said like I feel the obligation to come out as non-binary because of this feud with Nick that I was having. And I didn't need to come out as non-binary. He was keeping it private during the feud, and I didn't need to reveal that information and then say I had to because of Nick. Because I really didn't have to because of Nick. I felt like I did, but I really didn't have to. So yeah, that was really
That's okay. So he's apologizing that he got something wrong. He's not but that's not gonna have like, oh, my opinion was false or whatever. I was under a false belief. Apologizing for something like that isn't going to lead to a super like detrimental conclusion about you as a person. That's different from saying knowingly or admitting I lied, which then would be like, oh, this person's dishonest.
Yeah, that's fucked up. I apologize for that. As for anything else, I think I've already apologized for it, but like I don't think Nick's interested in.
Have you heard from Augie? Yeah, he called my cell phone yesterday. We had not spoken in a long time. We had a really good conversation. Yeah, Augie's well. You know, as much as I disagree with Augie on many things, or may take gripes with what he's doing at any given time, Augie's always been a very good friend to me. And I value that a lot. But I heard from him he's doing good. I'm happy to hear it.
Apology, you just want to laugh at me for being dumb or saying the wrong thing and then getting mad, right? So, but yeah, I definitely fucked up on that, and I fucked up on a couple other things. So
I gave him a little advice on his content. I don't know if he's gonna like me saying this, but I think has plans to return again, probably soon. I can hear it in his voice when he's about to come back, and I spoke to him yesterday, and I could hear it in his voice. He had that like motivation streak again. Do I know if he'll do it consistently? No, probably not, because he treats it as a hobby. But I just said to him essentially, like, I feel like there's a line between you have to create the possibility for random encounters and moments to happen on your streams, and if your streams are so structured and professional, you're actually creating a crutch, or not a crutch, a handicap on your streams. And I think, like, although Augie he's older now, he doesn't have to like be delegating between random spurgs. I think he should go back to maybe a little less of a structured format if he comes back, that creates the opportunity for like random chance encounter funny moments to happen. Like I said to him, some of my best moments and some of your best moments have not been things that we pre-planned, but chance encounters, random improvised shit that just turned out to be good. And I feel like by structuring your streams to this extent, you're removing the possibility for that to occur, right? And he agreed with me.
So, or a lot of other things. And yeah, I'm trying to, do better or whatever. But yeah, I'll just keep making content and see what's up. I don't know. Not much I can do. I can't undo the past. But yeah, I don't think Nick's like a demon or whatever, or anything like that. Or I obviously don't like him, but I don't necessarily think he's like a bad person. Just I think. I don't know. I was gonna say maybe he should be more open to being wrong, but I don't really know how much in recent times.
I'll always be friends with Augie, whether he's doing content or not. Like, the people I really click with are people who I could be friends with if they weren't doing YouTube, right? I don't like to be friends with people anymore because we're doing this, like, common activity. I'll be cool. Like, it's the same thing with, like, I don't consider Dumpy, like, a fucking YouTube friend. Most of our interactions were, like, it was during the pandemic. We'd talk, like, every day. It was, like, convos about life and everything. And I've been to his house. We met several times. So I don't consider him really like an online friend. But yeah, those are the people. Those are the types that I like. The types of people that I just like click with very well. Hearing him on Half Baked sounded like he probably is. I've said this for a long time. I think Augie's biggest problem is that he's a very loyal person, right? I don't think he's like a bad person for that. I just think he's very loyal to the people he's friends with. And for that reason, I think he has a hard time really like doing these full-on condemnations of people he considers close friends. And, a good example would be the Bowblax let me speak shit, right? Bowblax was a good friend of his, and he values that. And he was just like willing to sweep on behalf of Bowblax so that he wouldn't be embarrassed. I think yeah, he had a hard time ditching Flamenco. Yeah. He lets his chat go off on Nick though? Probably.
Fuck. He's like said he's apologized and been wrong. I don't know. I feel like there's some things he should apologize for as well, but It is what it is. Anyway, dude, this DLC is don't apologize to him. Well, it's something I genuinely feel sorry for. It's not because I feel like I owe it to Nick or I want to be like get back his good graces or the audience.
Okay, you guys need to stop this. I get it. You don't like Diorio, but do not fucking enable this guy. Do not enable this guy. Bowblax did lie about Nick. For every true criticism there is of Nick, Bowblax outright lied for the sake of making dishonest criticisms of him. And it's like, what I want to avoid happening, and what I've seen happening lately with the whole new commentary thing, is some people are becoming sheep of the other herd. And I never want to do that, because it's just going to create all the problems that existed with the old community. We don't need to accept every criticism of somebody because we don't like them. We could be objective, we could be nuanced. We don't need to defend every action of somebody because we like them. And we like people because like this is kind of the anti-commentary right now. I've just noticed there's been like people that are very comfortable being sheep of the other herd, and that's exactly what the problems were with the original community. The like, you know, everything in black and white, all criticisms against person we don't like are valid, and all criticisms against person we do like are incorrect.
Good reasons of him or whatever. It's just that if he's watching, his audience is watching. I don't know if that, like, I've apologized to him a bit in private and a bit in public for various things, but I don't think I did for that. So I just want to, like, I just feel like on my soul, like I probably should do that and acknowledge that and let people know that, like, yeah, that was not cool of me.
Fuck communities, okay? Be independent. Communities create nothing but problems, man. Unless you're like like communities where it's between multiple creators with similar interests create problems. Just communities around one person or two. I don't know. That's not, I don't know how to verbalize this, but everybody could just be making content in their own bubble. I don't want to ever be in a position where I feel like I have to vehemently defend somebody just by virtue of my association with them.
Did you see the Yoshi game? Yeah, dude. I'm surprised it isn't called Yoshi's Story 2. I kept seeing it, I'm like, this Yoshi Story 2, Yoshi Story 2. Dude, I was hoping they wouldn't call it Yoshi's New Story, because that's what they called Yoshi's New Island. Like, I'm so tired of the new in titles. I think they're done with that, though, especially after Mario Wonder. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna be streaming more on this channel. Just talking about whatever comes in chat, more chill streams. Maybe some drama focus streams, I don't know. You can come in, I'm just gonna speak my mind, kind of be chill. Yeah, I'm not
like, despite overwhelmingly aligning with Queeman on like the commentary stuff and Ethan Hassan stuff, I've not held back my criticisms for behavior that I view as, despite like Hassan, I feel like being like the hate against him is disproportionate for what he actually does. Hassan, there are several good criticisms of him, and I was willing to accept, and it seems like and I say this, I was wrong about the collar. It seems, and just to be clear, so nobody gets a big ego, I was not convinced by anybody on that stream. But it seems like it was probably a shock collar. And if it was, that's bad. Okay, that's bad, right? But then, like, Queeman makes this, like, point, maybe I saw it out of context, where it's like, well, who cares when, like, you know, thousands of Americans, you know, let their dogs sit in their own shit from neglect, and it's like, what kind of argument is that? This is not the worst thing, therefore we shouldn't care about it. What? That's like retarded. That's a retarded argument. That comes off as total sweeping because it is. Because it just is, right? And it, like obviously you can, there's always going to be something that's, why do you care about this person doing something when people are dying in this part of the world? Where people are obviously going to care more about things that are more immediately accessible to them, in their immediate zone of interest, and that they feel like their voice is going to matter speaking on. So although, yes, there are what Hassan did does not necessarily indicate that he's some pathological animal abuser or psycho or whatever. We can still say it's bad, and he needs to relearn his usage of I don't think Hassan is some psychopath that hates his dog, but I absolutely think that had it was a shock collar, that, and it seems like it was, that was like a very inappropriate usage of it. And we can admit that, right? We can admit that. I don't feel like it's just sweeping when you say, oh, there are other things that are worse. Little bro trying to... No, I disagree with Queeman on various. Despite overwhelmingly agreeing with him on many things, I also disagree with him. And I'm okay with verbalizing that. And he's okay with me disagreeing with him. Which is how, like, any, like, dynamic of associated creators... I should be able to publicly, like, voice my criticism on him. He could do the same for me without, like, there being, like, a significant issue with that. I could probably steelman Queeman's argument. That specific argument, I don't think you could. That's just like a point of reasoning that we would never accept in any other context. You know, why should we care about this? Because there is something worse. It's literally like when your parents would be like, oh, you're complaining, but there are starving children in Africa. Dude, my grandparents are so fucking old that when they say the line, they're like, there are starving children in Europe. As if, like, it's still the Holodomor, or whatever the fuck. I'm like, not that many.
To make very angry commentary or anything like that, but I do like talking about various things. Okay, so this island, there's like nothing to do on it, I guess. I'll just do the gold rush on the next layer. If it's unlocked, I did get a D on the cannon layers, I don't know. How's Silk Song going? That's pretty fun. Actually, I could switch to Silk Song. I think it might be a little bit more fun than even doing the little rush. Okay, so I might just be watching. Well, I kind of want to say I wish him the best, but it would be like a little disingenuous, I suppose, but like, I don't know, I wish the best for like most just people in general. We're living in like a very stressful time in general, and I know a lot of stresses, you know, don't apply to Nick maybe specifically. But you know, everybody's struggling in one way or another, or just...
Wow, thanks.
I don't know, I want to save my anger for just, like, really, really evil people, you know, like criminals. Obviously I'm no...
Murderers are bad. I can't wait to see the riveting content on that. This was not as, like, interesting as I thought it would be. He clearly has, like, some of the same problems he had before. Like, I understand you can't really develop theory of mind. It's something that comes naturally. And I am sympathetic to somebody not being able to develop that. But simultaneously, you can realize that you don't have that ability and should therefore understand that when making, like, assertions about other people's motives and why they're not getting something that you're getting. You have to understand that's an area you lack insight in. But why is chat broken for me? I can only what was Sam arguing? I can only read chat through stream right now, not like actual YouTube for some fucking reason. Huh? Hold on, let me try to pull up the stream on a different tab. Huh? These people are just not allowed to morally grandstand about the collar stuff? Why? No, you can make make a moral condemnation about usage of the collar. And it could probably be correct. Just because there are other people that abuse animals does not mean you can make a moral claim about the collar. Furthermore, although I agree that veganism is like moral and what everyone should strive to do, I also understand the difference between moral positions and action. And I understand that it's not super easy for everyone to break lifelong habits, etc. And that people, sometimes their actions don't completely align with their moral standards. That does not mean they can't make just because they may be a hypocrite, that does not mean they can't make arguments about morality. Kaloravetla, just got an ad for that horse girl gotcha race game. Would you hop on with me? No. No, it literally says there is an error. By the way, I need to check this because I got a complaint. Do you guys get notifications still from my stream on YouTube? Didn't even thank you so much, Cal, for the $5. Thank you. All right, based stuff. Well, that's probably gonna be it for tonight. That's gonna be a stream. I appreciate all the support lately. It looks like viewership is starting to rebound. Great stuff. And I'll probably be seeing you tomorrow. Hopefully there's good stuff tomorrow. Link stuff. Link anything you could think of in the inbox. And yeah. Peace, guys. Take care. Have a good one. Wait, hold on. Who am I gonna... Is anyone live? Who can I raid you into? I know where I'm raiding you into. Take care, guys. Take care.